on, and I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching Voice of BC, bringing the legislature, BC politics into the living room. Good night.
That's good. Welcome back here to the Apple Bowl as we get set for kickoff between the Vancouver Island Raiders and the Okanagan Sun. My name's Evan Cook. Alongside me, Carson Park. Thanks so much for tuning in today, wherever you're tuning in from. Live here in Kelowna on AM 1150, live here in Kelowna on Shaw TV Okanagan, as well as our BCFC TV stream brought to you by Remax Kelowna. As I mentioned before the break there, it is the Raiders who won the toss. They deferred their kickoff to the second half, so they will boot the ball to the Sun here right now. And it is kicker James Parker who's got this one lined up here at the 45-yard line, ready to kick this one away. Connor Richard, Javen Keekley rather, back to return this kickoff if needed. Richard, we were talking before the game, a guy who's played a little bit of halfback here as well as linebacker, returns kicks too, and so that's part of his play now. But the kickoff comes to Keekley, who gets it at the 5-yard line. We are underway here in Kelowna between the Sun and the Raiders, and a good stop there by the Raiders, bringing Keekley down at about the 20-yard line where the Sun offense will start.
Yeah, I didn't catch who it was making the tackle there, but that's a great tackle on special teams. Open field tackle against a returner. Those are only happen really clean when he doesn't quite see you coming, because he does have to keep an eye on 12 guys running down the field at him. That's still a difficult tackle to make in the open field.
Yeah, we've talked about that open field tackling on special teams, especially guys that are able to do it at full speed or close to full speed, and how difficult that is.
Yeah, breaking down at 100 miles an hour is a difficult thing to do, especially when there's a shifty guy going the other way.
Keith Zyla out of the gun here. 1st and 10 for the Sun on their own 20-yard line. First play going to be a handoff up the middle here. That one to Rodriguez, who looked like he lost the ball at the end of that play, but he might be ruled down here. Gain of a couple for the Sun.
Yeah, officials marked him down immediately, and he had a better angle on it than we did, but all the Raiders around the ball certainly wanted it to be counted as coughed up. Hopefully that's the only time we see that this game from Robbie, because it hasn't happened much this season, if at all.
Looked like a gain of about...
We have Robbie playing slot, doing the Mosley's position. That's what's going on today.
Yeah, looked like gain of a couple there, and so Sun on second down here. The pass to the outside, that was Spencer Schmidt who was targeted there, but it's thrown just behind him past his outstretched hands, and so a big 2-and-out here for the Raiders on the Sun first offensive drive of the game.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about in the pregame a little bit. The incompletes, you have to avoid those incompletes, because in the CFL game with only 3 downs, a single incomplete here just cost us a first drive of the game, and you can't have that going forward. Fortunately, Zyla's had a pretty consistent year in that category, so it shouldn't happen too much going forward.
Isaac Wegner to punt this ball away. End over end sends Mayo back to his own 45. He'll run across the field here towards the near sideline. Now he cuts up to midfield, in across the Sun 50. That's where he'll be brought down on a long return there for Bryson Mayo, where he ran a lot further than the 15 or so yards that they netted on the play.
Yeah, definitely. That's his style. He's a shifty guy. Any daylight he gets, he's going to go to it, even if it's not really directly upfield. He's just looking for a hold to keep the play alive, and got him 15 yards here.
So going to be officially 1st and 10 here for the Raiders on the Okanagan 48-yard line. Good field position here for VI after the Sun were forced deep into their own territory. Jake LaBerge out of the shotgun here. His first play, a handoff to Williams. He has nowhere to go. Wrapped up by a couple of Sun. That was Hayward Beasley on the defensive line there, shutting things down along with Austin Bowes.
Yeah, Beasley's had a big year too on the Sun D-line. Him and Kluhart are leading the team in sacks, which definitely need to see a little bit more out of that D-line there in that category, though. Only 4 and 4.5 apiece, I think. But on the other side, they have a guy with 12 sacks, so I'd like to see more numbers closer to that for the Sun D-line.
Yeah, that big Quentin Bowles leading the league with 11.5 this year. Second down play, back to pass LaBerge. He's under pressure right away. That's Cody Thompson in with the huge sack. The blitzing linebacker roared right in on LaBerge and tackled him from his blind side.
That's huge. We're going to have to see a lot of that from the Sun today, especially to keep that pressure up, as I was just commenting. They don't have any individual D linemen who's really put a ton of pressure up this season. So if they can get some pressure from the linebacking crew, that would be hugely helpful. That last play, I didn't quite catch who it was on the far D end, though. One of the reasons for that might be that he's 1.5 yards off instead of a yard. I want to get that a little tighter to get that pass rush on.
This one going to be punted away, forcing Donaldson to collect it back at his own 15-yard line. Shakes one tackle, now cuts back towards his own goal line, and he'll be stopped right around the 25 is where forward progress will take him down.
Yeah, that was looking for the same sort of strategy, just any daylight that you can find, take it until there's no more daylight. And the coverage team did a great job just staying in their lanes, keeping the net nice and widely spread, and closing all around them for the gang tackle.
So the Sun, who started out on the 20-yard line on their first series offensively, now up to the 25. Going to be Zyla out of the pistol formation here. With the receivers in motion, he drops back to pass. Now a little bit of a handoff there. That's to Kelton Curry. He's got space running up across the 40.
Oh, I'd love to see the Sun do a lot more of that this game. I feel like they've not utilized the draw nearly as much as they should. And it really takes a lot of pressure off the quarterback, because it forces the defensive backs to keep their eyes starting back and forth instead of being able to lock down on their receiver and know where he is and keep the coverage up.
Big run for Kelton Curry. First down play there for the Sun, who scrimmage now from their own 41. Zyla from the shotgun once again, throws it to the far side. That one's complete up near the 50-yard line. I believe that's Schmidt who gets taken down. That's Spencer Schmidt, targeted a second time, his first catch of the game. And that is right near a first down marker.
And if you don't have some sort of threat of the draw, those hook plays are much harder to complete, because the linebackers and the halfbacks in the flats just run straight to the hook, and they don't have to worry about keeping their eyes in the backfield until they're actually at their man. Whereas if you have the threat of the draw or a quarterback who's known for running, you have to do a little shoulder check halfway to your guy. It slows you down a little bit. You don't stay on your line. It keeps that window open longer.
As they brought the chains out for the official measurement here, looks like first down for the Sun by about a half a football length. So a nice quick 10-yard catch there for Schmidt, who does a nice job finding that first down marking on the field and not cutting back for the pass before then to pick up his team in first down. Good field awareness by Schmidt on that last route. So 1st and 10 here from the Okanagan 51. Hand off to Curry once again. He runs into a gang of Raiders, but pushes that pile up a few yards. Big, strong play by Kelton Curry there. That'll gain about 2 or 3 yards by the looks of it.
Yeah, that's not a bad play. Just keep the run well and established. The important ones are always going to be these passing plays that we're going to see coming up next year. As long as it's completion, you have a chance to make this first down. If it's not a completion, then you're off the field to punt again.
Officially a 2-yard gain on that last rush from Curry. 2nd down and 8 on the Sun 53. Zyla lined up at the back right beside him. That's Curry into block. A deep ball thrown here downfield for Schmidt. That one just a little too far in front of him. Overthrown for Spencer Schmidt by maybe 3-4 yards there.
That was a brilliant play by Josh Paley. Really underappreciated sort of play there in the secondary. Hard pump from Zyla, which draws all the coverage down. Everyone expects to have to rally down to make the tackle. And that one little stutter step down gets the wide receiver to have that jump on you going deep. And he interfered with the route enough that slowed him down enough he couldn't catch up to that pass in the air.
Yeah, it's a good point as Panatoni out here to punt it away for the Sun. Going to bounce right about the 43. Still bouncing into Raiders territory. They'll fall on that ball at the 30-yard line with the no yards flag coming out at the end of that.
Yeah, Panatoni with that rollout punt as always. Looks like we have a player injured down.
Yeah, I saw a second flag come out too, which made me wonder.
I think it was the no yards, but I think Panatoni was in that ruckus. So I'm not sure that should be no yards, but might have been a block in the back or something else causing an injury there.
Yeah, I wondered if there was an additional foul that.
Well, that's Mayo coming off limping. That's not good.
Not at all, as it was, yeah, like you say, Mayo was the one who fell on the ball and might have, I wondered about a late hit coming in at the end there. Referees is still conferencing on what exactly going to happen there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Panatoni coming in late in on that hit, and I saw Beck Fullerton join the fray too, but I think he was the second guy into the pile.
So the 15-yard penalty, which means the guy who drew the no yards penalty also hit the player.
Yep, and he did, but I sort of thought he was the second man in on that, but I may be wrong. That's a really frustrating play too. Fullerton, the long snapper on the play, his job is to be the first man in on that and kind of establish where the 5-yard bubble starts. So being inside that 5-yard bubble, that's not great, and then having the not awareness to be the guy making the tackle isn't good either.
So 1st and 10 for the Raiders up at their own 44. LeBurge in the pocket, now scrambling, runs out to his right. Flag comes in at the end of the play as he throws it up the middle. That pass intended for Evan Rode. It went between his hands, but looks like a hold's going to come up here on that play.
That was some great pressure there by the Sun DNs, I would think. Didn't see any blitzing linebackers anyway, so it should have been the DNs with great bull rushers getting pressure off the edges. I'd like to see Fullerton keep his eyes open a little more for that football coming in, though. He saw the receiver jumping up, reaching high, looking for the big hit, and ball went through the receiver's hands. Had he kind of stayed a little deeper playing center field, he might have had a play on that ball.
Hold goes against Tristan Waters of the offensive line, so going to be 1st down and 20 here. Line of scrimmage back on the 34. Out of the shotgun here, LeBurge once again under pressure. He's going to roll out to his right, avoids a couple of tackles. Now he'll just take off with it, head to the sideline, and get out just shy of the 40-yard line. Going to be a gain of a few here, but bringing up 2nd and long here for the Raiders.
Yeah, that was Thompson in on the blitz again, and there was some stunts going on as well. The Sun are being really creative there, trying to get the pressure in on LeBurge, who's being able to avoid it really, really well, so credit to him, but hate to see him have to deal with that the whole game because that pocket is not staying stable for him. That's going to wear you out or get you hit a lot.
Yeah, no kidding. That has been definitely the key part of the Sun defense so far, is collapsing in on that pocket. Lots of pressure for LeBurge right now, who is up against a 2nd and 15 here. Going to be a handoff this time as Williams gets tackled out across the 40.
No blitz on that play, so the draw didn't quite work as well as they'd probably hoped, only getting a couple there.
Yeah, got to be a 3rd down here at the 42, so 3rd down and 12, bring the punt team on, but another good defensive series for the Sun, who forced pressure there on that 1st down play, a penalty as well, and all of a sudden it's the Raiders punting here, this one away, angling it out towards the Sun 20-yard line. That one will get touched there, just fumbled out of bounds. There, that was Nate Anderson on the return, and so another good punt there by the Raiders. That being Nick Hunchak, forcing the Sun deep into their own territory to start this offensive series.
Yeah, you hate to let the ball bounce, because as soon as it bounces, weird shaped football, it can go in any direction. You don't know where it's going. You can catch that in the air, then you have a chance at returning it. Not catching it in the air, rolls out of bounds on him.
So 1st and 10 here on the Sun 21-yard line. Scoreless here between the Sun and the Raiders, with about just under 8 minutes left to play in quarter number 1. Going to be a handoff here, cutting back up the middle, but stopped there are the Sun. Trying to figure out which back that was on the carry. That was Rodriguez who got the ball that time.
It looks like we're going to see a lot of Rodriguez today in both the backfield and that Mosley sort of flex position that the Sun love to run.
Gain of 2 on that play. Ball up right near the 24-yard line. So 2nd and 8 here. It's going to be Zyla rolling out to pass. This one connects with Anderson up across the 40-yard line as a nice completion there to Nate Anderson, his first catch of the game, and that'll bring about a 1st down. Sun here taking the ball up near about the 42-yard. I think that's an 18-yard catch there for Anderson.
That was a great, well-designed play, finding the little soft spot in the hole in the zone, coming to a stop, catching the pass, getting upfield, completions, move chains, and that's what we're seeing out of the Sun offense here right now.
So 1st and 10 here from the 42. Zyla with one back behind him. That's Rodriguez. He gets the ball in the handoff here. Bowls his way out across the 45. He'll get stopped shortly thereafter. Looked like a gain of 4 yards, 4 or 5 yards for Rodriguez there.
Great hard run there by Robbie. That's one thing these Sun running backs are really quite outstanding at, is finding the tough yards in the fray of the O-line when there's no obvious holes available, just pushing that pile forward for a good 3 to 5.
2nd down and 6. Sun looking to convert on another 2nd down pass play here. Zyla looks to the near sideline once again. Simon Eyes goes back to catch it. Looks like it was a completion, but he might be a yard or about a half a yard short of a 1st down there, as he's just out across the 50.
Yeah, I think he's... Oh, that's a half yard maybe. That's a lot closer than I thought it was. Although on the number, I just don't see the chains lining up with that.
Yeah, the chains over on the far side of the field. Looks like the 1st down spot would be right about at the 52, and the officials are going to call in a measurement here. Tough to imagine, even if they don't pick up a 1st down here, tough to imagine the Sun not going for it.
Yeah, with this field position, it's sort of a tough decision. Depends how you feel about your offense. Oh, within a yard, you hope the Sun offense goes for it. If you can't get a yard in the Canadian game, then your O-line is not having a good day. And there's no reason to think that out of the Sun O-line yet.
Yeah, 3rd down and about half a yard to go here for the Sun, who will go for it. Going to remeasure here on the right hash. But it's a good point, and one we've talked about before, going for it on these short yardage play in the Canadian game with that extra space out there.
If your defense can get a stuff here, that is a huge boon to your defensive line.
Sun going to go out of the eye here. Fullback moves up. It's a quarterback keep as Zyla just dives forward ahead, and it looks like he certainly has gained enough yardage on that play.
It's going to depend on the spot, but I definitely tend to agree with you. It looks like he should have had enough for the spot. Oh, and they're waving him on. Okay.
So there we go. Zyla sneaks it ahead. I just wondered, just because of his issues not being fully healthy for a lot of this season, I wondered, were they going to try and limit that contact, maybe hand off to a fullback or a tailback in that scenario, but he's going to stay under center again here on a 1st down play. Hand off to the tailback. That's Richard with the ball, who's going to get wrapped up right near the line of scrimmage.
And Eli Haynes is out there too, so that's, I guess that's still just the goal line offense out there running a 2nd play.
Yeah, exactly, as it was Haynes who lined up as the fullback. on that third down conversion. And he and Richard stayed out there. Richard with, looks like no gain on that play. We'll line it up once again. Maybe a gain of a yard there, up to the 54. 2nd and 9 here for the Sun. Four men rushing here for the Raiders. Going to be a pass. That one is complete. Not knocked down initially was the Sun receiver. That was Tyson Mastrodimos there up across midfield, still short of a first down.
Yeah, great way to shake that first tackler was just body checking him. No wrap on that tackle attempt here. But got to keep your feet and try to find some space, get outside on that play instead of trying to cut inside where all the help is.
Yeah, it looked like the Raiders defender there on that play just tried to kind of like an open ice hit there that you'd see in hockey, but with that size of Mastrodimos, he did not go down on that contact. So Panatoni rolls out to his right to punt this one away. This one better with some hang time, coming down at about the 20. That's where Mayo fields the ball, cuts up the sideline, but doesn't have a whole lot of anywhere to go. Taken out of bounds at about the 25-yard line there. Good play by Simon Eyes to cut back a few yards to avoid that no yards flag.
Act as a net and steer the returner where you want him to go.
And the result of that play being the best field position that the Sun have forced the Raiders into at this point, with VI starting back on their own 24. 3:12 left to go in the first quarter. Here's a handoff up the middle. That one is to Rhett Williams, and he'll reach towards the 30-yard line, maybe brought down a yard shy of that to bring up 2nd down here.
Yeah, I definitely look for VI to establish the run a little bit more here on this drive. A little far to try to go for a run play here on this next 2nd down and 6, but
their running back Williams, who had 81 carries this season, did have 1 reception. That coming in a game against the Sun here a couple of weeks ago. 2nd down, going to be a fake handoff there. Pointing deep is LaBerge. He fires it downfield, just looking for receiver North Rainey. Bit of a read option there with the fake handoff and LaBerge rolling out, and he just overthrew him at the end.
Yeah, definitely. You saw him point, try to get it directed his receiver over to the deep, because there was no over-the-top help there, and just needed a little bit more air on that ball for his receiver to run under it. Like to see the receiver keep his arms tucked in a little longer and get that last couple of acceleration yards at the end.
Simon Eyes back to field this punt for the Sun, takes it at his own 45. Cuts laterally across the field. Now tries to pick up a block, but he's brought down at the 50-yard line. Big tackle there by this. It looked like Josh Paisley. We've mentioned his name before, with a tackle on Simon Eyes at the end of that play.
Yeah, that could have been a pretty big hit there. That's why you see those bigger hits on special teams, is as the returner goes down the field, every time you come to a new player, it's left or right, and whichever way you go, you don't always know what's going to be behind door number 2.
1st down and 10 here. 2 minutes to play here in the opening quarter. Scoreless between the Sun and the Raiders. Zyla out of the shotgun. Another option handoff. This one to Curry, who rumbles up the middle, still on his feet, out across the 50-yard line.
Oh, that was a beautifully run draw right there by the Sun. Love seeing. I want to see 5 to 10 more of those this game. You see the offensive line really direct the passing lanes, the pass rush guys into their passing lane, so it opens up some run lanes for the running back. Gets into the 2nd level there. Can push linebackers up for the 1st down.
Great 10-yard rumble by Kelton Curry. A 2nd 1st down run for him this afternoon. And the Sun across midfield now with the 1st down play. Under pressure is Zyla. He runs out of the pocket, but will get brought down right near the line of scrimmage. A couple of pass rushers in there making things difficult for Keith Zyla, who was able to scramble and get up to, like I say, close to the line.
Yeah, it looked like he wanted to hit Robbie Rodriguez on the little shovel pass off of the option there. But the screen had sort of developed in between him and where he wanted to shovel it, and you can't really shovel pass through 3 D linemen.
2nd down and 10 coming up here. Sun with a couple of backs besides Zala. They'll drop to block. Now the pass is complete. I believe that was Schmidt, who will be marked up near the 52, but not near enough for a first down, which would have needed to come to the 40. So going to be a big stop here by the Raiders once again.
A little bit strange play call there, but another completion. Keep the confidence up in the quarterbacks and the receivers, but no real chance to get a first down out of that play.
Yeah, well, we saw the pass to Schmidt on a second down earlier, that hook route you were talking about, where he runs up right to the first down, but he couldn't get that far upfield this time. And so, like you say, not really a chance of a first down completion there. Panatoni punts this one away. Mayo picks it up just inside his own 15. Now gets out across that 15-yard line where he's wrapped up quickly. Bryson Mayo, who has been an effective punt returner for this Raiders team this year. He's had 34 of them coming into this game, averaging just under 18 yards a carry, or a reception rather, on those returns.
You can really see the respect that the Sun are giving him in the return game by the guys you see coming off the field and staying on the field after these punt returns. We have Simon Eyes coming off the field. Eli Haynes and Thompson both staying on the field, or both on that last return. Fullerton, the long snappers, on every kick. There's a lot of really good athletes. Robbie Rodriguez was coming off the field there too. He was on that punt. So there's a lot of good top-tier athletes on the Sun team that are in the punt coverage unit right now, because they do respect that return team from VI, and you need to keep that in check in this game. Any play can turn the tide of this game, and that's a guy who can turn any play into a touchdown.
Yeah, no kidding. Like you say, we've seen that from him earlier this year, as that play actually ended the first quarter, and so the teams will switch sides here. Still scoreless, by the way, between these Sun and the Raiders. Not all that surprised to see kind of a defensive battle here in the opening quarter.
Definitely not quite as stifling as the first game they played, but
sure,
both offenses are playing fairly well, just haven't really been able to put a scoring drive together yet.
LeBurge out of the shotgun there, under pressure right away. That's Tyler going, roaring in. Another blitz there as he comes down and gets the huge sack there on LeBurge, taking him inside the 5-yard line.
Yeah, I don't know if there was a miscommunication on the, definitely there was a miscommunication.
Yeah, he was untouched
there. I thought maybe they were trying to play off him to check down to a screen or something, but no, it was just totally untouched. Great to make that tackle too in the open field.
Tyler going, his first sack of the season here. Couldn't come at a better time here.
Some linebackers, really a lot of pressure from them today. That's good to see.
So this will force it to a 2nd and 22, ball right on that 5-yard line now. LeBurge fakes the handoff, now a screen. He's going to connect there with his fullback Deshaun Dingwell, who will rumble out. It looks like just about the 15-yard line there. Good completion there, good yardage gained on that screen pass to Dingwell.
Very much so. A little surprised there wasn't a flag thrown there late there. Kalen Botel. Oh, I wonder if that's any relation to Jordan Botel, number 51 on the Raiders. Really just crushed Fullerton as the whistle blew. And Fullerton stood up looking for a flag, but didn't get it.
So that'll bring up a 3rd down and 12. Going to be the Raiders punting this one away from their own 15-yard line. Hunchuk there has his punt blocked. It's going to be jumped on at the 25-yard line is where it is, as the Sun get tons of pressure. Once again, block that punt, and have outstanding field position now.
Yeah, I was actually a little surprised on the last punt that Richard didn't lay out, because he kind of had the chance at it. And I think it was Richard who got it, or Okanlola. But 2 guys had the chance at that block, and that's something we haven't seen for quite a while. The Sun started the season exceptionally hot in that unit. Kind of cooled off in the second half of the season, so get big plays out of their punt block unit now is great to see.
No kidding, the Sun, like you said, has started hot in that regard with 3.
Oh.
And a no yards penalty tacked on to the Raiders on that play. And so that'll make things even worse for them field position wise. As we get a
better view there. That was definitely Richard on at least the first deflection. I don't know if they both got it, but
So the referee kind of giving a explanation there to the Raiders bench. He did not like the call, as they thought with the blocked punt that no yards wasn't going to be enforceable, but the referee clarifying things there. Penalty on Brandon McDougall. So first down and 10 for the Sun here on the 21. Big opportunity to put the first points on the boards here this afternoon. Zyla out of the pistol here once again. Handoff to Curry, who finds a lane, cuts up across the 20-yard line. Looks to gain a few on that carry. Rather, a correction, that was Brendan Hansen. I believe his first action here of the afternoon.
Oh, Hansen gloveless with just the Tate's fingers. I love that. There's just something different about actually feeling the football instead of having to just stick to these gloves.
Hansen staking out there now. Simon Eyes in motion here.
No, just running to get to the line.
Now he's there. And are we going to get a delay of game here?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Simon Eyes taking too long to find the line of scrimmage there, costing 5 yards.
Well, that's why I thought he might have been in motion there, because we're getting to the end of that game clock. Yeah.
Yeah. That's something you can't be seeing, especially from. It's one thing if your quarterback just kind of loses track of the time. It's another thing if you're still waiting for your receivers to get lined up for the play.
So yeah, tough one there is going to make it a second down and 11 for the Sun. Need to get to the 11-yard line for a first down here. Zyla rolling to his left, now looks to Anderson, who finds him there. Boy, that'll be close to that 11-yard line. By the looks of it, he might be again a yard or two short down there. Flag came out on the play though, and it looks like it's going to be a hold on the Sun here.
Something on the Sun anyway.
So Liam Hamlin flagged for the hold there on a play that started as 2nd and 6. The 5-yard penalty last time made it 2nd and 11, going to be 2nd and 21 now.
Yeah, the Sun, this is just taking points off your own board here. Points off your own plate. DI doesn't even need to play defense right now the way the Sun O is going.
Zyla going to be out of the shotgun. He's got Hansen lined up back behind him. Raiders here rushing forward, and there's a pick thrown by Zyla up through the middle. Taken out to the 30-yard line and just out across. Late hit going to come in from Hamlin there.
No flags flying.
Whoa.
No, I really don't see how that can be a thing. There's a fight going on the sideline almost.
Yeah, no kidding. It was Sean
Now
Arabsky.
Laundry's going to fly.
It was Sean Arabsky, the safety, who picked up that interception.
Late flag there. I'm not sure who they're going to be calling it on. I think they're calling it on something somebody said and not on the initial tackle, which seems pretty questionable to me. We're going to see a replay right here.
So Arabsky, the safety, picks up that interception.
He clearly seems to me to just kind of be conceding and running out of bounds. And
he's out of bounds.
He's not even holding the ball when that tackle's being made. He's well out of bounds.
Yeah, Liam Hamlin, offensive lineman, roared in there. That was a late hit for sure. And like you say, was surprised not to see a flag thrown initially on that. For Arabsky, a huge pick there. He had 3 interceptions over the course of the regular season.
I didn't see who that was intended for. It did sail a touch. Okay. Definitely benefits the home crowd here, but a lot of booing from the visiting fans.
So that's Mason Kelly.
I gotta agree with them. I don't know about that.
Yeah, Mason Kelly of the Raiders is the only one who is flagged there, but you're right, he's coming into his teammate's defense, as there was definitely a late hit that Liam Hamlin got away with on the sideline there.
Another thing, I sort of do wonder who that, I didn't see who that was an intended pass for, that it did sail a touch on him. But as a receiver, if you have a chance to make a play on that ball, you need to try to climb the ladder and go do that. If If he had gotten even a hand on that ball, it might have redirected it enough for there not to have been a pick, but just kind of alligator armed it. And
yeah, I'd wondered even if there was a miscommunication there on that one, because the pass was so far away from the Sun receiver.
It sails right over there's a Sun player running the seam, and just sails over his head, but from here anyway, it sort of looked like he might have been able to. I don't think he could have caught it, at least not reasonably. It would have been a circus catch, but at least go up and touch the ball and make that a harder catch for the safety.
So 11:40 left in the second quarter. 1st and 10 from the 23-yard line of the Raiders. This pass is going to be complete up near the 30. North Rainey, his first catch of the afternoon, and that is going to either be a first down or very close to it, as the Raiders needed to get to the 28, and yeah, now it's going to be signaled first down here with the line of scrimmage coming up, right at that 28-yard line. Boy, a tough play there for the Sun, as they had that golden opportunity to put points on the board, turn the ball over, well, just outside of the red zone there on that play. As a first down handoff here going to be to Williams. He's got nowhere to run as he gets out just across the 30.
Still manages to turn it into 3 yards anyway. So that was really tough yards there for him.
You got to look on the replay there.
Really small hole, nowhere to go, and net in the hole. Shakes one tackler and manages to fall forward for a couple. Oh, that was Eli Haynes. He's going to be frustrated with himself for the rest of this drive.
Yeah, good gain of 3 there, especially on a play where they were.
Met him in the hole beautifully and just couldn't take him down at the line of scrimmage.
LeBurge out of the eye. He's under center here for a second play. Couple fakes. Now tries the screen. That one just over the outstretched hands of Deshaun Dingwell. For the Raiders, an interesting play on offense there, where Dingwell, who had the catch earlier, has been targeted a couple times. A fullback who normally rushes the ball did so 14 times this season, but the Raiders have tweaked his role against the Sun here today and used him as a receiver in the screen passes.
Yeah, that screen pass as well. They like doing these little cross-block counters with the O-linemen to free them up. Ooh.
Hunchak gets run into at the end of that punt, and dropping that punt at his own 35-yard line, and it's fumbled now. Who's on top of the ball? Raiders think they have it, and they do. Kelton Curry couldn't come up with the ball cleanly on that punt return.
Both ends of that kick really almost went terribly for the Sun. The kicker honestly could have taken a bit of a dive if he wanted and drawn a penalty. You see here. Oh no, the camera pulls away before then, but yeah, Richard went for another block and landed right on the kicker's feet.
So that's Curry, who missed it, goes back to pick it up, and on that second tackle there.
You just have to fall on that at that point. You can't be trying to make a play anymore.
Looked like that was Braden Belton who came in to hit Curry, but yeah, you're right, just fall on the ball there. Don't try and turn it into a gain.
Yeah, you need to just secure the ball once it's on the ground and you don't know what's going on.
So boy, a huge turn of events here. Special teams for the Raiders, allowing them a chance. 1st and 10 from the Okanagan 24. LeBurge here completes a pass to Rainey. He dives out at about the 20-yard line, and so that'll be a gain of close to 5 yards there. 2nd down and as much coming up here for the Raiders.
Trying to argue his case for another yard or 2 on that official.
I think he got a pretty good spot on that, as it's inside the 20-yard line, just before that 19-yard line.
Yep.
Good catch by Rainey, too, to cut back to the ball, make a diving play there. LeBurge now, his pass is going to be complete. Rainey dodges a tackle, will get brought down inside the 10.
Definitely looking at a match that they decided that they like going on here with Rainey, and just hook after hook are going on right now. Sun love running a cover 3D, and hooks and seams between the 3 deep men are really the 2 potential weaknesses for it. Oh, Kitzman with the strip at the end there as the ball's on the ground.
Yeah, Kitzman almost tried to get that one out. Was almost successful. He and Kent Lawrence coming in to combine on that tackle.
Just like to see the Sun maybe try to rotate to a blitz man coverage here in their own goal line, but something other than this soft 3 that they have at the moment.
Going to be 1st and goal here for the Raiders with the ball on the 8-yard line. Had a little delay as somebody's towel came out and was lying in the field. But LaBerge out of the eye here. Drops back under center. Dingwall the block. It's the pitch to the tailback here. That's Williams. Tries to cut wide, and he will get brought down right near the line of scrimmage out in that far sideline.
A lot of Sun players just torpedoing themselves to legs there. See the lead blocker get his legs chopped out. And almost rolls into the tackle there, number 4.
That was Trey Adams there on that initial diving block who took out the fullback Dingwell.
Oh, when you're playing running back and your lead blocker gets gets his feet cut out, that's one of the most rattling moments where you're like, oh man, I was relying on that to be a post.
So going to be 2nd down play here. Pass into the corner of the end zone, going up for the ball and coming down with it. A touchdown catch. Guess who? Bryson Mayo. And the first points on the board coming from the VI Raiders here. Mayo with an 8-yard touchdown grab. Yeah, Barrios, who of course had the picks, 6 of them throughout the regular season, trying to come up with another one. But the extra point kick, it is good as the VI Raiders score first in this ball game. We'll take a quick break. The score is the VI Raiders 7, Okanagan Sun nothing. This afternoon, it is the VI Raiders striking first this afternoon. An 8-yard touchdown catch for Bryson Mayo has the visitors up 7-0. Kickoff comes up to the 25-yard line. Cakeley, who had to go back on a ball that just went through his fingertips initially. Yeah, no kidding. Since they threw that interception, it seemed like that big special teams play by the Raiders to get that great field position, putting points on the board. Now the Sun looking to respond, starting out from their own 26. Zyla, he's going to pass this one over to Simon Eyes on the far sideline. He picks up a block, gets out across the 35, and that looks like it's going to be close to a first down here for the Sun. Okay, gain of 11 there for Simon Eyes. For the Sun offense, a good start there, picking up first down here in the first play from scrimmage. Robbie Rodriguez lines up beside Zyla, who's working out of the shotgun here. That's going to be a handoff, who spins away from a tackle nicely. Rodriguez does, up to close to the 45-yard line. There's that smooth style of Robbie Rodriguez. Rolling to his right is Zyla, throws one and nearly picked off there. as that one was postmarked for Josh Paisley, but he just didn't expect that ball to come right to him like it did, and he is unable to come up with the pick, but a third down here for the Sun, who are going to punt it. And he was almost sacked too, Zyla was. It looked like kind of half a pump fake bottom that extra half second to make the toss. No completion there, so Isaac Wegner going to punt this one away out to the 30-yard line where Mayo waits on the return here. Mayo up across the 45. He'll get brought down shortly thereafter. But more good field position here for the Raiders, who are trying to take a hold of this momentum and run with it here. First and 10 here from the 46-yard line for the Raiders. Two men in the backfield. They'll block here for the pass from LaBerge. Comes to his right now, throws to the near sideline, complete to Mayo at midfield, cuts up to the 50, now down to the 40, where he'll get taken out of bounds. But a 24-yard catch and run there for Bryson Mayo. It looks to be limping a little bit as he heads out to the line. But on a first down play here, going to be a handoff to Williams, who gets met by Connor Richard up at about the 38-yard line. A gain of 3 on that play there for the Raiders. 2nd and 7, ball on the 37. And it's going to be LaBerge to pass here on 2nd down. He looks to the corner of the sidelines, that one falling out of bounds. Nearest receiver there was North Rainey. But it's going to be a 3rd down play here, and I'd imagine a punt coming up here from the Raiders to really force the Sun back into their own end of the field. Nate Anderson, jogging back there toward the goal line. Going to be Hunchak punting it from just about the 45-yard line of the Sun, sending Anderson back to his own goal line here. Makes one cut up towards the 5, but not much further there. Yeah, that's good D there by the Raiders, forcing Anderson back out by the 6, as I think where he'll get the spot here. But more tough field position upcoming for the Sun. That there was Josh Paisley on the special teams tackle. Talked about it with Ben McCauley before the game, but a lot of these players getting more time on special teams with the shortened down playoff rosters. So Zyla now going to hand this ball off to Rodriguez with a head of steam. He'll get up to about the 10. Yeah. Big play upcoming here, 2nd down and 6, ball on the Sun 10-yard line. looking for that first down here to extend this drive and get the ball a little further upfield. Silent empty backfield, looks into the slot, throws an interception there at the 20-yard line. A huge pick in the middle of the field. Nathan Myers coming away with that one. Yeah, nearest receiver there was Jesse Falconer, but yeah. .256 remaining here in this, the first half of the ball game. 7-0 the score for the Raiders as they look to tack on to that. Ball going to be spotted right on the 20 here. That's where the linebacker Mayers went down with that interception. He had one pick over the course of the regular season and picks up a huge interception there. 3-minute warning comes and goes on that play. Back under center, dropping back is the quarterback LeBurge. Tries to wave a receiver downfield. Now he's going to pick it up and run with it, and he will get a first down here as he'll head out of bounds right near the 5-yard line. Huge run from Jake LeBurge. Looked like 58 Waters, it might have been.
Right, it's clean. If you fall into your stomach, you'll get a flag pretty often. So that was pretty fortunate for him and the Raiders.
So the Raiders now, as it looked like early movement, whistle right off the snap now. First and goal for the Raiders. They're lined up at the 6-yard line. A great 14-yard run there for quarterback LeBurge on that last play.
If you told me at halftime of the first game that this VI Raiders team, if you told me that they would later tie Okanagan on the last play of the game in the Okanagan, I'd be like, oh well, that's I'll have to see how that happens, how this offense manages to turn it around. But the way this offense is now playing in this game against this swarming, powerful Sun defense is quite impressive.
Yeah, they sure are. And I mean, we've talked about the 2 interceptions in this game. Really throws that were right to defensive players. They were just in perfect position both times to make a play on that ball. As it's going to be first and 16, 10-yard, or from the 16, 10-yard penalty, and a big sack there in the backfield.
That's going. That's another Sun linebacker coming in on a blitz. A lot of pressure from those guys today.
So aided by the penalty here, the Sun D forcing the Raiders to lose yardage again on that sack. An inspired effort here from the Sun D to push them back. They were down at the 6-yard line initially. Now they're back on the 23rd yard line here for a 2nd down and goal still.
Yeah, keep your eye out for a screen or a draw, just something conservative to get a field goal opportunity. Oh, no.
LeBurge now looking down the sideline into the end zone there, went for it there, diving out of bounds with the receiver. Looked like Alex Bonnet-Plume, number 18 down there, who was trying to dive towards that catch.
Diving into the track is never a comfortable feeling.
No. As yeah, it was right at the tail end of that play as that end zone, the corner cuts in on that end zone for the track down there, and he took a tumble, but an incomplete brings up 3rd down here. Going to be a field goal. The kick will come right from the 30-yard line. Looks like
we have a timeout called to get another man on the field.
Trevor Pelland jogged in late from the sideline there. And so the Raiders take a timeout here to avoid a penalty moving this kick back. In to take the kick here is James Parker. As I say, he'll be booting it from the 30-yard line. Parker in the regular season was 21 for 25 on his field goals.
Do we have a long on him? Or?
Don't have a long on him, just because that's not a stat that's kept track of, unfortunately.
Oh, that's convenient. Well, it looks like we're having a 30 or a 31-yarder, and he was kicking from 25 before the game started. It was the only kicks I saw him doing, and he looked comfortable doing it, but that's without any pressure or anything. So I don't know if that's kind of his limit or if that's just a comfortable warm-up spot.
Like you say, it's from about 30 yards out here. The kick coming for Parker. Jeremy Cheng on one knee, going to hold this one. That kick is up plenty of distance, but it is wide right. And a huge miss there for the Sun. It's Barrios taking it out of the end zone up to the 10-yard line, and that's where he's tackled. But for the Okanagan Sun, some good defense on that last series. They were looking for a break, and they may have got it just there, as the kick from James Parker from 30 yards out sails wide right, and no more points on the board here.
Oh, that's a big play. That's a huge play for the Sun.
And it looked like the ball came out at the end of that play, but Barrios was down when it did.
It's happened a few times this game. I'd like to see a little bit more ball security going on, or a couple more fumbles, one way or the other. You get it a little longer, a little sooner, or don't get it out at all.
2:10 left to go in the first half. Sun trying to respond with points, down 7-0 right now. Zyla, there's that option play on the handoff. Up towards the 25-yard line goes Robbie Rodriguez. That's about half the distance needed for a first down there.
I'm loving that draw play. The way it develops just creates a different sort of maze every time, depending on how the pass rush develops. And lets your running back really show off their vision.
So second down, going to be a pass here. Zyla towards the sideline, but again, short of a first down there, as I think it was completed to Simonize on the far side. But he's just lined up short of the first down there.
Yeah, that's a really, really frustrating play right there, especially punt team coming on to kick it away. Because there's an easy chance at a first down if he can just keep his feet and fall forward instead of losing his footing and falling backwards for the catch.
Yeah, Simonize has got that big wingspan, can beat guys to the outside given the opportunity. We've seen that this year, but like you say, diving back toward the ball there, didn't have that opportunity. Bringing up a 3rd down and 3 where the Sun and Isaac Wagner will punt this one away. That one sent out to the VI 50 where Mayo picks up the ball, cuts across midfield now to the inside. He has some blocks and he's still on his feet as he cuts out across the 35-yard line.
Tackle there by Barrios. Man, I thought he was gone.
Yeah. Yeah, after he got past that initial wave, he had lots of room, did Bryson Mayo, and you're right. Aldrich Barrios, who was getting hit from one side. Yeah.
Here's a replay we got here next to us.
Take a look there as Mayo
sheds the beautiful way to shed the block there and hold on to that ankle before Mayo could get away and his teammates could rally up for the tackle. Sun
D being called upon again here as a minute 32 left, a 1st and 10 on the Okanagan 33. Running back Williams with the ball, and a flag coming out in the Raiders backfield at the end of that play.
I guess a hold.
Yeah, assuming a hold coming up here, and it is on the Raiders, so that will push them back to the 43-yard line on his 1st down and 20 here.
Just a ton of penalties today.
Sure has been. Cody Upton, the O-lineman, is whistled for the hold there.
Or if not a lot, at least very, very costly penalties.
Absolutely. As personnel change there was the fullback Dingwell jogging off. Adam Finnick, receiver, coming in. As the Raiders look to regain as many yards as they can here on a 1st and 20 from the Sun 43. Helland in motion, cuts up the slot. Going to be a Fake handoff there, but under pressure is LeBurge. He's brought down back across midfield. What a huge play there, as it was big Hayward Beasley, and it looked like Cody Thompson again in from the linebacker position, combining on that sack.
Yeah, great pressure there from the Sun, just forcing LeBurge to keep his eyes down and away from his receivers, as he has to dodge rushers the whole time. Loving the Sun blitz packages that they're throwing out there today, getting the linebackers in the backfield. And doing that regularly, it allows the D linemen to have more one-on-one opportunities against O linemen, and then they win more battles.
Huge sack pushes the Raiders out of field goal territory. Ball at midfield, 2nd down and 32. Pass here to the near sideline is incomplete for Rainey. And so the Sun defense showing up big time the last couple of series, is this one pushing the Raiders outside of a possible field goal attempt.
Yeah, that's huge. That's the penalties help, but that sack definitely helps big time, showing up when it matters.
Took another look at that sack. It was Thompson coming in at the end, but really Hayward Beasley who deserves most of the credit there, as he tracked down LeBurge and took him to the ground. Hunchak back here, can't punt it as he was under pressure. Now he's just going to take a run with the ball, edging towards the sidelines, and he'll get knocked out at and a late flag penalty. Oh no, that's going to be the Raiders keeping the ball here.
It sure may be. That flag almost seems a little bit like making up for a missed flag earlier.
Yeah, no kidding.
Let's see. Yeah, that's less out of bounds than it was earlier. I don't know about that.
As Hunchak just tucked the ball in and ran with it, I would say he was about 5 yards away from a first down when he got knocked out of bounds.
No, you're seeing the wrong stick. He was 15 yards. Where the officials are meeting is where he was knocked out, right?
Yeah, so
and then there's the next stick is still 10 yards away.
So they've now lined up for the Raiders offense.
Yeah. Great play, because that was likely going to be blocked, because there was a ton of Sun players with a lot of pressure. The snap was not as swift as you'd like it to be, and had it moving in the pocket a bit.
So what's going on there? Nate Anderson on the dead ball foul there, but a first down for the Sun.
I guess they're not saying it's an automatic, and after the accrued yardage, it's still not a first down. But I have to go check my rule book, because I was pretty sure that was an automatic.
Yeah, no kidding. As did the Raiders for sure. Because, yeah, I thought that with that 15-yard penalty upcoming, that was going to give the Raiders enough yardage to make it a first down.
And now the officials are meeting with the VI coach, as the Sun look like they want to run a play. So
Ben McCauley's jogging in from the Sun sideline too. He's not on the Raiders side of the field. I think he wants an explanation on this one here.
Or just wants to hear what the conversation's about.
Exactly. As both teams look a little bit confused by that. As it stands right now, the ball's spotted on the 23-yard line of the Sun half of the field. It's first down and 10 Okanagan, the way the officials called it there. So the referee really addressing McCauley there. Yeah. And so he's saying that the hit came after the player stepped out of bounds, and so that's why it tacked onto the end of the run there. But again, like you said, I thought it would be an automatic.
Yeah, I thought it was an automatic, but I guess that's only in play fouls, or what the distinction is.
Okay, so another big play there for the Sun, who have the ball first and 10. Zyla to pass here for Anderson. Dives back to catch the ball just shy of the 30-yard line. It's going to be a gain of 5 or 6. So gain of 5 here, with the ball going to be spotted on about the 27-yard line.
Only 50 seconds left here, so we're going to see a lot of no huddle in this last minute.
Zyla out of the shotgun, empty backfield again. He looks down the slot. That one to Master Demos, who got hit as he was taking that ball in.
way to meet him at the ball there by Chang, the safety.
And so
I'd like to see Mastrodimos squeeze those. This is a great defensive play. Ball not quite placed in the spot you want it placed to secure that.
yeah, Mastrodimos having to go down to get it and lay out for that ball. And like you say, Jeremy Chang roaring in with a big hit on him there to dislodge the ball. So with 42 seconds left here, a 3rd down and 6 for the Sun. Matt Panatoni back here at his 15-yard line, going to punt this one away. Panatoni rolls out to his right there, gets it away as he
gets a flag.
Draws a flag. The ball bounces out at about the Raider 52-yard line. But coming in with the big hit there was Brody Taylor off the line, and he looks to be getting penalized here for running into Panatoni.
The man I always confuse for Quentin Bowles.
And so, of course, that it comes with it, the automatic 1st down for the Sun here. Boy, that is a tough penalty for the Raiders and Taylor to take on that one.
Yeah, you hate to see penalties start to take over a game like they sort of are in this one, but some of these you can't really avoid, that one in particular.
7-0 your score for the Raiders. Clock is the enemy of the Sun right now. Just 37 seconds left here in the opening half. They've got a new life here, 1st and 10 on their own 42, trying to drive it down the field here. Zyla looks to the sideline. Mastrodimos going to make the catch there. He gets pulled back inside the 40. Forward progress should take him out to almost the 45.
And
another late flag coming in here.
They're being a little too chippy with Mastrodimos at the end of the play there.
Wrapping him up there on the tackle was Nathan Myers. And
see if it was Myers or one of the other players who was jawing with Mastrodimos.
Yeah, it was after our replay cut out there that the flag was thrown. It didn't look like there was, like you say, an excessive physical contact at the end of that.
I figure it was something that was either said or just the official didn't like there was 3 guys kind of swarming around the Sun player. 79.
Unnecessary roughness on D lineman Doyle Westland.
Yeah, I think he was the 3rd man in on that little troop that was jawing with Mastrodimos. But
boy, here the Sun have moved now 30 yards in penalties in the last 2 plays, plus the Mastro catch. So they're going to be spotting this one at the Raiders 53, clock down to 30 seconds left. Officials gathering right at that line of scrimmage now. Not sure if they're discussing where the ball's supposed to be placed at this point.
On 1st down here, you need to get a good completion.
Yeah, just doing the quick math here. Mastrodimos caught that ball, I guess they're saying just inside the 45-yard line. Tack 15 onto that, and the ball ends up moving up to the 50-yard line. So they move it up 3 yards from the spot at the 53. Better field position here for the Sun, up to the Raider 50. Zyla. There's that option play to Rodriguez. He's got a hole cutting out wide, out across the 40-yard line.
Oh.
And Robbie Rodriguez, his biggest run of the day, takes it inside the 40 here for the Sun.
That was a great draw right here. The little stutter in your passing stance, and then just let Robbie take it and do the rest.
Nice block there by Carter Como, who took out Quentin Bowles right at the line and allowed him space to run it there.
Those plays are all about the deception of letting the D linemen think that they're in a pass rush mode and just try to wash them out enough that you can get your running back to find a lane up to the 2nd and 3rd level. Have a guard or a center kind of just chip and move up to a linebacker and read that block, and you can, like, a well-run draw can easily get 10 to 15 yards with great frequency. But you have to be able to convince everybody on the field what's going on.
And so a timeout called here with just 24 seconds left, but all of a sudden you look and the Sun are on the Raider 38-yard line. This is very close to field goal range for Isaac Wagner.
With 24 seconds left, I definitely expect that if we run out of time and don't move the ball anymore, that they would at least go for one.
Absolutely.
Although with Mayo there to return the kick, that's quite the risky proposition.
Certainly. He plays a big factor in that decision-making process here. But it's going to be first down and 10 here for the Sun. Keith Zyla drops back to pass. Now up the middle. That one is complete across the 20-yard line.
They're saying incomplete.
Okay, Nate Anderson.
I totally lost where the ball went after it hit him in the chest there. When did the ball come out?
It looked like, I guess with the brown football and these brown jerseys, lost the ball right at the end there. I thought Anderson had come up with that catch.
It just dribbles out of it, down his body and out his feet.
He never had really full control of that football there. Tough one for the Sun, as that definitely would have put them in a good spot to kick one. Clock down to 19 here, second down and 10 from that 38-yard line. Zyla under pressure, has to throw a screen, this to Rodriguez. He's got some space out across the 30-yard line. He'll get brought down close to a first down mark. But the clock now ticks down to 13 seconds left.
Really love to see that. Would like to see the Sun run more of those, especially the way that the ID line is really has their pass rush ears pinned back right now. And that's when you really want to fool them with those draws and screens the last two plays have.
Sun got a first down play. Now Zyla looking deep towards the end zone. That one thrown well out of bounds. Nate Anderson, the nearest receiver, he was in double coverage there at the goal line.
Second down, but only 2 seconds left on the clock. Real good timing on that throw. If he held it any longer, that we would have run out of time and not had a chance at these 3 points.
Absolutely good clock management there by Zyla and the Sun, and this play will allow Isaac Wagner to come out here. He is going to attempt a 34-yard field goal.
Keep your eyes out on the guys on the edges here, and Fullerton on the cover team if this goes wide.
As we talked about, Bryson Mayo back in the end zone to return this one if need be. But a 34-yarder coming here from Wagner as the kick is up. Does it have the distance? And it is going to be wide right. Mayo back to return this one.
Oh, an awesome open field tackle there by Eli Haynes. Beautiful.
Sure was, as he brings down.
To be the first man in on Mayo and secure the tackle, that's a tough job.
Mayo is brought down in the end zone here, and that is what is going to bring about an end to our first half of football here. After a quarter at the Apple Bowl, it is the VI Raiders 7 and the Sun 1, I guess they get us.
Yeah, real defensive battle going on here right now. So good to see more of that after half.
Hello and welcome to a special edition of Sunspots. I'm Evan Cook. Pleased to have joining me today the general manager of the Okanagan Sun, Jay Christensen. Jay, lots to talk about with this group this year, but wanted to talk about you and kind of your journey through football here in Kelowna, because you've kind of done it all. You've been a player with this team, you've been a coach with this team, you've taken on many roles over the years. But let's go back to being a player with this team back in the day. What was that experience like playing for the Sun as a young guy growing up here?
Well, you know, at that time it was kind of, you know, super exciting because it was brand new to the city, and you know, my first year with the Okanagan Sun was only the second year the team had been in existence, and you know, the founding fathers that started up the Okanagan Sun, Bob Harrison and Barry Ernest, and there was a whole group of guys. We've always been blessed to have a great board of directors, but back then, when they went to the BC football conference at the time, you know, they basically said there's no way we could compete with the rest of the teams down at the coast back in the 80s. And, you know, obviously the founding fathers knew better and turned out to be prophetic, because, you know, we've always been one of the more competitive teams, but there was a lot of hype around the team. The first year they came in and you know, won a couple of games and you know, probably, I think the only maybe have 2 years where we didn't have a winning record and in the top two. So, you know, they came in and overcame a lot of odds, put a team on the field. The next year, brought in Brock Ainsley, who was our head coach at the time, had just finished his CFL career, and you know, he instituted a little bit more of a you know, a pro-style system for practice and offense and defense. And you know, that year in 1982, we ended up winning BC and kind of never looked back. The team's been competitive ever since. So really, you know, put the processes in place to be successful, to make, you know, the Okanagan Sun definitely a destination team. You know, up until, I'm terrible with dates, but let's say 8 or 10 years ago, we didn't have high school football in Kelowna. So, you know, it was either through the minor system or, you know, having to attract players from across Canada, really. And back then, it was a lot of Kamloops players. They didn't have a junior football team. So we've always looked outside of Kelowna to kind of augment the players that are here. And, you know, it's because we've had that success. It started right in that second year. It's been pretty easy to attract players.
You pursued the game through a career in the CFL as well. Did having success at this level with this Sun program in those early days, how important was that in you deciding to pursue that CFL career?
Well, you know, it was obviously the reason I was able to go to that next level. You know, growing up, I was actually a baseball player. My dad was a semi-pro baseball player, and he coached me, so I just wanted to play sports. I loved it. I loved competing. At about that time, baseball kind of petered out a little bit in Kelowna. They didn't have the Falcons or teams like that. So, you know, I'd still say growing up I was a better baseball player than football player, but there was really nowhere to go at the time. So you know, a buddy of mine was playing football. I switched over to minor football, and then, you know, fortunately made the transition to the Sun. But really, because again, you know, our systems at the time were very professional, and the organization itself was professional, and we've always had a goal and a focus of you know, moving kids beyond junior football. You know, we don't feel it should be the final resting place for a football player. We want them to get, whether it's university, CFL. We've had 4 or 5 guys get onto the NFL. You know, that's kind of our focus, is to move people along, and it was back then. So fortunately, at the time, you know, I didn't have, you know, you always as a kid want to be either an astronaut or a professional athlete, and at that time it was more of a pipe dream. But fortunately, as I mentioned, the guys that were in place at the time with the football team had some connections in the CFL, and you know, got me to a camp with the BC Lions initially that first year, and it kind of took off from there. So you know, there's no doubt in my mind I wouldn't have had that career if it wasn't for the Sun and the whole organization behind it.
Thinking back on that career, I mean, you won a Grey Cup championship, you got to play with Doug Flutie. There's got to be so many memories associated with that time, but are there big things that stand out that you still kind of reminisce about today?
Yeah, you know, I'm still in touch with a few of the guys that I played with. Obviously, as the years go by, it happens less and less. But, you know, we still stay in touch. And like I say, I mean, definitely the Grey Cup was a fantastic moment. I mean, I was fortunate enough that I only went to one Grey Cup and got to win it. And it was also the game that, you know, we were pretty sure going into the fourth quarter that we were going to come out victorious. So I really got the ability, since it was my only one, to sit back and enjoy and look around at the crowd and just take it all in. So, you know, definitely from a football perspective, that kind of stands out. But really, when you're talking to other people and telling, it's about the players that you played with. You know, my teammates, some coaches, you know, equipment managers, trainers, guys like that you develop a relationship with are you know, those are the fun stories and the things you really reminisce about. I mean, you know, you don't talk too much about the big hit you took or the touchdown you scored, because, you know, those are just products of the game. It's just, you know, it's the camaraderie, which is, you know, why I've you know, gotten involved, you know, not only to give back to the Sun, but I mean, that's what you miss when you finish playing. I mean, I was fortunate, if you could call that. My last year in the CFL was with Ottawa, who at the time were terrible. So, you know, when I made the transition away from football, I didn't miss the competitive part of it, because we hadn't been competitive the year before. But what I missed was, you know, the guys and going to the clubhouse and stuff like that. And when I made the transition to originally the board and then coaching, you had that. So, you know, it's certainly, again, the team gave back me the ability to make that transition and not, you know, always wonder what if.
When you were a player, did you think about coaching as something that you wanted to do once you were done?
Not at the time I was playing, no. You know, you're kind of living in the moment, and I was running a family business at the time back here in town. We were refinishing antiques and pianos and things like that, so that was kind of going to be the transition. But like I say, when all of a sudden you transition from playing, you need to fill that, you know, what you missed somehow. So, you know, originally got back involved in the board and you know, was fortunate enough at the time that the coaches would include me. And even when I was playing, I'd come back and, you know, come to spring camps and guest coach and do things like that. So definitely piqued my interest. So when I came back and now all of a sudden had the time, it seemed like a natural transition.
And what about now in your role as general manager? It seems like it gives you, during the season, a little bit, not as maybe as big of a time commitment day in, day out with the team and being involved that way, but in terms of putting the team on the field, that's obviously what you're in charge of. How's that job been like? What's the recruiting side of it like as well?
Well, ultimately, my job is to put people in place to take care of all of that. You're right. The time commitment isn't as much, obviously, as coaching. I mean, you know, Ben and his crew do put an incredible amount of time into to get the players ready to play. You know, as a GM, you make sure that the head coach has the tools he needs when he goes out recruiting. You make sure that, you know, your equipment staff and training staff are top notch, and I mean, those are recruiting tools for us. You know, the players go back home to, you know, to wherever they're from, all the way from, you know, Newfoundland to the island, and say, you know what, you know, Hazel and Roy and Marina, the training staff, are phenomenal. Like, everything's, you know, we need is taken care of as far as injuries. You know, from the equipment staff, Gary and Eric and their guys up there, like, even at the CFL level, there's no equipment staff like that not only take care of the players', you know, equipment needs, but just, you know, from a support and somebody to talk to position as well. They do a fantastic job. So, you know, really my job is to make sure those guys have the tools they need to you know, one, be successful on the field, but also, you know, make a difference in the lives of the players, you know, build their character and, you know, make sure that they're taken care of while they're here. And, you know, we've got Tamiko doing the, you know, the billeting for the out-of-town players, and, you know, really they do such a great job. I'm there just in case anything breaks down and I need to step in and help out. That's it.
And with the Sun being a competitive team year in, year out, what's kind of the next step for this organization in terms of staying competitive each year, building this program? What does that look like going forward for the Sun?
Well, you know, I think the biggest thing is, you know, with Ben as our coach now, as an organization, we're extremely happy in the job that he's doing. I mean, obviously his record stands for itself, but just, you know, the way he's mentoring the players and, you know, really carrying on in the long tradition of trying to get as many guys to the next level and continue on with their football careers. I think we average around one player a year that makes it to professional football, whether it's the CFL or the NFL that we already spoke of. So, you know, definitely that's, you know, what we want our players to do, is develop as people, develop as football players, and continue on their career. So with, you know, all those things comes with stability of an organization. And like I said, you know, Ben stepped in now. He's finishing his second year as head coach, but really first full year, you know, in charge of the recruiting and everything for the full season. So it's really just to continue to support him, help him with you know, the things that he wants to do, and continue to keep the focus on the players.
Jay Christensen is the general manager of the Okanagan Sun. My name's Evan Cook. Thanks so much for watching.
fucking guys. Every fucking person. They are going to start to shut it down. They will shut it down. They are fucking done right now. Score tells them they're in. Score tells them they're in. We ain't even fucking close. I'm going to put the best half of the ball down for this fucking ball. Go, damn it. Take that motherfucker. Go, baby. Okay, turn. Take the ball.
Take a quick break, come back for second half action. Okanagan Sun football here on AM 1150. Welcome back to the Apple Bowl here in Kelowna, with the Okanagan Sun taking on the Vancouver Island Raiders in a BCFC semifinal match that features the Raiders with a 7-1 halftime lead. My name is Evan Cook alongside Carson Park for this one as we look to a few of the stats that we got in from the first half of football. Things jumping out here. Why don't you go through what we see here in the first half?
Well, just rushing. Both teams doing fairly good job rushing. Sun with 71 yards, Raiders at 50. Passing game, though, quarterbacks, Zyla's at 10 for 19 for 74. And the 2 picks are really what jump out there. You can't have any more of that going into the second half. And then Jake LeBerge with 6 for 11 at 69 yards and a TD. A little bit better going on that side of the ball. Both teams real even though on first downs, 7 first downs for the Raiders and 8 for the Sun. And then on penalties, we were talking a lot about that in the first half, but there weren't actually that many penalties. They were just very timely and costly for both teams, keeping points off the board on both ends of the ball. But there was only 5 penalties for the Sun for 50 yards and 6 for the Raiders for 75. So nothing that abnormal. We typically see about 10 to 15 a team at the end of the game. So that's right on pace for normal. It felt like a lot going on.
Yeah, and the Raiders are actually one of the more disciplined teams in the BCFC. They average a little over 12 penalties a game for 116 yards. So really, we saw about half that total from them in that first half. And man, as we get set for the kickoff here, of course, the Raiders deferred after winning the toss off the top. And so they get the ball here to start the second half. Isaac Wagner, who missed that 34-yard field goal at the end of the first half, went for a single point for the Sun, who trail this one 7-1. Ball takes a bounce at the 20-yard line. Going to be returned up the sideline here. Flag is thrown as the ball gets out across the 35. I think that was Xander Bailey, the running back, who got his first return of the game and took it up to, like I say, about the 35-yard line.
Yeah, a little surprised the Sun didn't go for that little kind of chip shot for onside kick that they love to do. Where it's not quite an onside kick, it's kind of like a second level onside kick. Oh.
So the hold there on Matt Cox, going to force the Raiders deep into their own territory inside the 15-yard line here for their first series of the second half.
Yeah, they could have started right up near center, and instead it's listed as a 10-yard penalty, but that's like a 30-yard swing from that penalty existing or not.
Jake LaBerge now back in his shotgun set. Running back on either side of him. Low snap, picks it up, completes this one to Mayo. And a big tackle there. Tyler Going roars in and brings him down at the 15-yard line. Looks like a gain of about 5 or so there.
That was a great tackle by Going, and assist to Barrios there. With those 50-er receivers, you have to just keep your leverage, stay in front of him, and just don't let him beat you up the field until your help comes. And help is coming like 100 miles an hour.
Bulges there, gain of 2, so 2nd and 8 here. LaBerge going to air this one out towards the sideline. Kitzman at the end knew that he might have a play on that to track it down, but it's just overthrown. But a huge stop there. A 2 and out for the Sun defense, pinning the Raiders back in their own end of the field.
Yeah, definitely a miscommunication there between the quarterback and his receiver, because well overthrown to Kitzman, and Kitzman had 3 or 4 yards in the receiver in terms of play on that ball.
So Nick Hunchak now has one of his punts blocked here this afternoon, gets this one away cleanly. It's a beauty, forcing Simon Eyes back. He drops it there and now fumbles that one. It's on the ground. It looked like the Sun hopped on it at the end of that play, and that's the signal on the field. But boy, after a drop punt earlier, Aldrich Barrios with a huge play to jump on that ball that was bobbled by Rashawn Simon Eyes.
I cannot believe how often this is happening to the Sun. Like, are any of their returners able to catch the ball? Because just find that guy and let him go back there and catch it and take a knee. Don't even return the ball. Because putting your playmakers back there who are struggling to catch these punts is turning into quite the excitement.
Like we said in the pregame, it was something that hindered them against West Shore last week. Showing up here today, Zyla to pass this one over to Nate Anderson.
Great play there by 23, 22, 23, I think. That'll be, oh, that's Josh Paisley. As long as I'm seeing the right number. Great play, though, to step up into the backfield right away on that. If you're the flats man, that's your job. Go break that play up quickly before it has a chance to develop. And if your team can rely on you to do that, then the guy who's got the deep third doesn't step up, and that pump and go doesn't work nearly as well.
So off of that screen pass, the Sun lose 4 yards. 2nd and 14 from the 43. And flag in the... Yeah, that's what it is. That's the second time that's happened to the Sun here today, where a 2nd and 14 is going to become a 2nd and 19 just like that.
Oh, those are really frustrating plays. I keep my eye out for a screenplay here personally.
Yeah, it's interesting that we've seen those draw plays from the Sun multiple times here today, but we haven't seen as many screen passes.
Yeah, the screen typically works better when there's a lot of blitzes going on, and we're not seeing a whole lot of blitzes from BI. Just their D-line is really putting pressure up the field.
So Zyla under pressure, dodges one tackler, now throws it deep. He's got Simon Eyes, who completes the catch at the 40-yard line, down to the 35, still going close to the 30. But what a catch there by Rashawn Simon Eyes, and what a play by Keith Zyla to avoid the sack and throw a dart down the field.
That was impressive on both ends of the ball. Just all around, awesome play, great play. That's why Simon Eyes is the guy you trust to throw the ball up to.
You get a look at the replay there, just dodging the tackle. Zyla with a Great toss downfield, and Simonize, that's a tough cover assignment there for Paisley, who just doesn't have the height to compete with Simonize in a jump ball like that. Down to the 31-yard line here of the Raiders. 1st and 10, going to be a fake handoff here. Zyla's got to get rid of it as he was right under pressure, and he does before the sack. But a big hit there from Doyle Westland, who's going to take a penalty here. Yep, that's what it looks like. So it really will go as the equivalent of a sack in terms of where the ball is on the field. Nope, and as you say, the ball did not make it back to the line of scrimmage, so an intentional grounding called on Zyla. Sun trying to push it back towards field goal range here. 2nd and 17, ball on the 38-yard line. Zyla with a handoff there to Brendan Hansen. He cuts wide. Offensive hold coming up here as flag flew in the backfield. And that's going to push the Sun back here towards midfield. Trying to figure out here. So there we go. Instead of pushing them back even further, that penalty to open up a 3rd and 19 scenario here. Loss of 2 on that play, has the ball at the 40-yard line, and it's going to be Matt Panatoni in to punt this one away. Walks up to the 50, gets that one off, down to the 20-yard line there. Here's a good return up across the 35-yard line. That was Tristan Muir. Normally a DB who got that return going, and he got a gain of about 15 there on that punt return.
Yeah, when Panatoni's out there kicking, I'm a little surprised that they're not trying to strategically place Mayo over there, because he has a pretty predictable path of kick. And yeah, I'd put Mayo over there and either you're giving it to Mayo or you got to do something different and just see what the Sun respond with. But they're not doing that yet.
Mayo lines up on the far sideline here. 1st down and 10 for the Raiders. Going to be a handoff to Williams, who's got a hole. Busts up towards the 50. Does Rhett Williams. Looks like a gain of 12 or 13 on that play there. And I believe that is the longest run of the afternoon for Williams here so far.
Yeah, great little snuck through that hole, got to the 2nd level, and had he escaped going, he would have been off to the races with Mayo trying to block Kitzman on the outside, but going with a great tackle there.
Williams' longest rush of the year earlier this year was a 38-yard rush that came here at the Apple Bowl back on September the 10th. Going to be the Raiders working out of the I formation here on 1st down. That's a handoff to Williams once again. Busts a tackle again out across the Sun 50-yard line. And a flag coming in at the very end of that play. Looks like the official in the back is pointing towards the Sun.
It's something to do with Tristan Waters, I think. Like, not really sure what happened there.
Eli Haynes takes an unnecessary roughness penalty. Not sure what drew that, to be honest, but
I think it was how he was mixed up with Waters in there, but I think he was the man mixed up with him, but I didn't see anything that was particularly egregious.
10:42 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. The Sun down 7-1. Penalty takes the ball down to the 34-yard line after a Sun offensive series before the half had lots of penalties. It's the Raiders being aided by penalties here. Handoff that time to Williams. He's got nowhere to go. Stuffed right there at the line. It looked like Cole Kluhart in on that tackle.
Yeah, that was a huge power just right off the snap, driving into the backfield. There's a couple Sun defensive linemen back there actually, with Beasley in on there too, waiting for cleanup duty.
So a loss of about a yard there. Moves it back to the 35-yard line. 2nd and 11 coming up here for the Raiders.
Right on the edge of field, what I expect is the edge of field goal range.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see where that is. Remember, Parker missed a 30-yard field goal earlier in this game. Handoff going to come again here, and a big tackle there right at the line of scrimmage.
Going is having himself a huge game.
Yeah, Tyler Going, I was going to say, he's had a monster game here today.
Just every time there's a big open field tackle, he seems to be in on it. So
looked like Williams was able to get back to the line of scrimmage on that play. And
Simon is going back to return this potential missed field goal. We'll see.
Field goal unit is coming back out on the field.
42 and a half, 43 yards.
Yeah, I guess we'll call it 43 by the looks of it. James Parker with his 2nd attempt at a field goal here this afternoon. Here's the kick again, has the distance on it, and it is wide right once again. Simon is going to bring it back out from the left side of the end zone, and he is able to get up to the 5, now nearly the 10-yard line before he's brought down.
Sun getting fortunate on this kicking game because both those kicks came out clean, and he just pushed him right, which is, I don't know, from here looking at the path of him, it looks like he got him off well, so I'm a little surprised he's 0 for 2 on those longer ones.
Yeah, no kidding, and you're right, both of the kicks have been pushed wide right. The one in the 2nd quarter as well as the one this time around. For Simonides does a good job to come back across that goal post, almost using it as an extra blocker there. So the Sun on their own 20-yard line here. As it's going to be a run play off the top to Kelton Curry. He's brought down right around the line of scrimmage. Maybe a gain of a yard on that one, bringing up 2nd and long for the Sun.
They really know where to go. Looks like you want to stop and reverse the field, but that backside pressure was right there too. So, oh, great tackle by 78 actually.
Going to be a loss on that play. I thought he got back towards the line, but he was a few yards shy, 3 yards shy. 2nd and 13 now coming up here for the Sun. Silas, receivers in motion, working out of the shotgun there. Now dodges a hit, looks for another deep ball, throwing downfield into double coverage. He was looking for Robbie Rodriguez there, who'd ran all the way up to midfield. But trying to make a play on that one was Cheng, who missed the pick and at least disrupted the pass.
Yeah, dangerous ball there. He definitely had Robbie on the deep if he could get the ball over everyone, but underthrown by a good 5-10 yards and almost picked off.
So a tough incompletion for the Sun will force them to punt. They do send Panatoni out here. Typically they've sent Wagner out with these situations deep in their own territory, but this one not a good punt, end over end coming down the 35-yard line, picked up just outside the 40 by Mayo, now cuts up field, and he's going to be tackled there by Going again out there on the special teams. But yeah, for Panatoni, not a great punt there that results in good field position here for the Raiders.
Fortunate bounce and great coverage by the Sun helps not turn that into a total disaster, but you definitely want a bigger field position swing when you're punting the ball. That was kind of came off his foot a little shallow.
Like I say, was a little bit surprised to see him out there because he doesn't typically take those punts deep in the Sun end of the field. Doesn't have that rolling out run that he normally takes to punt it away. But LeBurge under center here on a 1st down play. Fakes one handoff, now gets it to Williams. He goes up across the 40-yard line. Flag flies at the end of the run.
Seeing a hold call.
Yeah, likely that coming against the Raiders here. 7:09 left to go here in 3rd quarter action. 7-1 the score at this point in the ball game. The only touchdown coming back in the 2nd quarter. So that is Tristan Waters, who takes the holding penalty, pushes the ball back across the 50. An 8-yard touchdown catch from Bryson Mayo. And we've seen kickers missed 3 field goal attempts combined with both teams. Isaac Wagner's missed 1. James Parker with a couple of misses, surprisingly, so far in this game. Back to pass here. Here's LaBerge. He's looking downfield, has Mayo wide open, catches it at the 20, and he will waltz into the end zone for the touchdown.
Clearly a blown coverage there. I'm not sure whose assignment that was, but Mayo was wide open, nobody within 15 or 20 yards of him.
And we talked before the game about how the Sun have been susceptible sometimes to big plays up the middle. We don't usually see this, just a kind of a corner route there where Mayo, is wide open as he jogs in, a 52-yard catch. Pending an extra point, putting another score on the board here for the Raiders. Parker in for this kick, that one through the uprights. And so for the VI Raiders, a massive touchdown, a 52-yard catch to Bryson Mayo. They take now a 14-1 lead in this ball game. We'll take a quick break. It's the VI Raiders 14 and the Okanagan Sun 1. Now a bit of a reverse to Rashawn Simonize as the Sun trying to pull that one out of a bag of tricks, but Simonize brought down just across the 15-yard line. Sun getting creative there on a kickoff return that didn't work out for them on that instance.
Yeah, Josh Paisley was having none of that, and it really relied on getting around him to get to the edge, and he had a great cutoff angle, forced him into his pressure, help. 82 on the tackle.
Yep, big play there for the Raiders to force the Sun to stick around in their own end of the field here. Ball on the 17-yard line for the Sun, who have just had trouble driving the field this afternoon. One big one aided by penalties there in the second quarter. That pass to Anderson, he's bobbling the ball, just unable to come up with it. Sean Arabsky, who had the big interception earlier, comes away with the hit to separate Anderson from the ball there, just thrown just a little too far in front of him.
Perfectly placed ball, and Anderson's got to squeeze that. You can't be bobbling those.
Yeah, you're right, actually, on the replay. It was a well-placed ball.
If he catches that clean, he has a chance to even make a man miss on that tackle, but because he has the bobble, he gets the ball separated from him, and now we're 2nd and 10.
Couple uncharacteristic misses from drops rather from Anderson today for the Sun, who are forced here on 2nd down to throw another deep ball. Here's Zyla up the middle of the field, and a receiver is taken down. That's Spencer Schmidt. It'll be a pass interference call, I believe, coming up here, which might save this Sun drive.
Yeah, that was a bit of a fortunate call there, but he was getting all tangled up in those defensive backs.
Another throw into double coverage here from Zyla. A low percentage one, but yeah, Schmidt just got sandwiched between the two, and it was Arabsky who got tangled up there with Schmidt and believe got the pass interference call there. Yep.
It looks like it's passed into double coverage, but if he comes through that pair of guys clean, I think he has the most speed and momentum getting to that football.
Yep.
And it's well placed behind the coverage. He just can't get his receiver just can't get there. Whereas earlier with Rodriguez, it was the opposite case.
Ball in the 32 after that 15-yard penalty. 1st down for the Sun. This is a handoff to Rodriguez, who gets stuffed just across the 35-yard line here.
Great little second effort on that to get another 2 or 3 yards out of that run.
Yeah, as he ran right into a couple of linemen there, and like you mentioned, pushed ahead for that extra 1 or 2. Looked like a gain of about 4 yards. 2nd down and 6 coming up. Rodriguez is going to stay out there, lining up beside Zyla, who's working out of the gun here. Rushing 4 are the Raiders. This is a pass up the middle. Going up for it there is Jesse Falconer, but he got sandwiched by 2 members of the secondary. It looked like Paisley coming in to make that hit with Nathan Myers. And once again, 3rd down upcoming for Okanagan.
Yeah, pretty well placed ball again, but there's just too much traffic there and a little too high for even Falconer's height and vert.
Not a bad play to throw it to your big, tall guys to go up and get it. We saw it work with Simon Eyes a few plays ago. Nearly worked there with Falconer. Panatoni out to punt this one. It's going to be blocked. That's a Rabsky. Panatoni runs back towards his own line to kick it again. This one going to roll out of bounds.
That was great on him just to get the ball back at least closer to the line of scrimmage. But
yeah, that one did not get out to the line of scrimmage. It went out of bounds off the re-kick from Panatoni at about the 20-yard line. And so it's going to be, marked at the 25 here. 1st and 10 for the Raiders. Again, we've talked about this before where the Sun, who are so good on special teams early in the season, just have been missing there, it seems, last couple of weeks, and this game is no different.
Yeah, they had the block earlier, but between dropped returns and miscues on punts, it's been ugly.
Back to keep it is LeBurge. He looks deep into the end zone now. Flag is thrown, and the pass will fall too far out in front of Trevor Pelland in the end zone. The
Raiders are going to take themselves out of point scoring range again if they keep getting penalties in this area of the field.
Cody Upton on the offensive line called for the hold there. As we are starting to see the Raiders work in more plays out of this I formation. That time, that was one of the first where there was no handoff. LeBurge faked it twice and then kept it for the pass. He'll be out of the shotgun here. LeBurge to pass. He's got a man open. That's Pelland to the far side. Cuts back across a tackler down to the 20-yard line. And that'll be good enough.
Yeah, Going.
A gain of about 15 by the looks of it.
Goings had a great game on tackling, but he got beat on that coverage there a little bit, letting his guy have too much outside leverage, and then trying to over pursue to make up for it, gets turned inside out and loses another 5 yards. Eventually makes the tackle, but could have been made 10 yards sooner if he had tighter coverage.
Ball spotted in the 19, so officially a gain of 16 for Trevor Pelland on that catch. 3:46 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. Out of the eye once again. Here are the Raiders. Ball is loose on the ground. Still loose. The Sun now pick it up. Looks like they've got it. As the handoff to Rhett Williams was not clean, and the Okanagan Sun, what a huge play there with a turnover on a fumble.
They definitely needed that. The Sun D needed to come up big. And I'm starting to get to the point where I'm beginning to believe they're going to have to find a way to put points on the board themselves. But it's huge to take points away from VI and give their offense the ball back to hopefully get a drive put together.
No kidding. This field position for the Raiders kind of mimics the field position the Sun had back there in the 2nd quarter when they had a drive downfield where an interception was thrown, where they were just outside the red zone looking to put the first points on the board of the game at that instance. 1st and 10 on the 25-yard line for the Sun. Screen over the far side to Anderson. Sheds, no, he doesn't shed Paisley, as nice tackle there, wrapped him up right of the legs. Paisley with another good one there.
Yeah, really rolled with that ankle, and happy to see Anderson hop back up without being phased at all, because that could have really twisted a knee or an ankle up.
Fortunately for the Sun, it's a gain of about 2 yards, 2nd and 8 on the 27. The Raiders, who on defense have definitely been more disciplined so far in the second half of football. And the Sun have been unable to rely on those penalties to move the ball upfield in a better position. Handoff here on second down. Into a scrum there. It's Curry with the ball, working his way up, trying to get to that 35-yard line. Boy, I think he's close to a first down. Initially off the play, it looked like he might not be, but great run there by Curry.
Yeah, second and long with a run. That's a risky play, but it looked like Curry came real close to getting there, and we're bringing out the goal line offense here.
Yeah, it looks like no measurement needed there. A yard shy of the first down at this point.
So we have a crew of linebackers running in there to play some tight end and running back.
On a short yardage play before, we saw Zyla just keep the ball himself.
Expect the same here.
This play, bit of a handoff up the middle.
Flag on the play, probably on the defense.
Sun thinking they have it.
Typically on these short yardage, it's a defense lining up in the middle infraction zone or jumping too early.
Yeah, and the flag came from over there on the sideline, so that looks to be the case here. Sun confident as their rest of their offensive group is jogging back out in the field. So I think the referee went offside there on the D-line. And so that 5-yard penalty will allow for a Sun first down anyway. Ball going to be spotted at the 39-yard line. 1st and 10 here for the Sun. 1:28 left to go in the third quarter. Down 14-1 are the Sun, looking to put a touchdown on the board here this afternoon. Pass over to Schmidt, who has it go right between his hands. Coming in to make the hit there, Josh Paisley. But a bit of an interesting one there where it looked like Schmidt just might have whiffed on that one.
Yeah, I think Schmidt knew he was going to get hit on that and kind of took his eyes off the ball to brace for the hit, but a little high on that throw. Yeah, hit him in the hand. Yeah, you have to be able to pull those in, even if it's only for those 3 or 4 yards.
Incomplete means 2nd and 10 here, just outside of a minute left here in the third quarter. Receivers in motion. Zyla looks up the middle of the field. He had a receiver down. And that one was picked off up the middle by Arabsky once again. A turnover for the Sun and puts the Raiders back on offense.
Yeah, Anderson had tripped and fallen, and I don't know if there was any contact that forced that or what it was, but trying to hit Anderson on a post who was just laying on the field, so he hit the safety square in the chest again.
And after that huge play from the Sun D to recover that fumble here, a bit of a heartbreaker with the Raiders picking up that turnover and coming back on offense here just across midfield on the Okanagan 53. Now the shotgun, here is LaBerge. Makes a pass complete over on the far side. That one over there to Adam Finnick. He was just across the 50 by the looks of it when he made that catch.
Took a big shot there and stayed on his feet, so good on him for that.
Ball being spotted at the 51-yard line. So I believe that's a gain of 2 on the play. 2nd down and 8 coming up from the Raiders here. 20 seconds to go here in the third quarter. The big question to be answered in the fourth, can the Sun offense show up here and put some points on the board? Their D has definitely given them a chance to win this football game. LaBerge to pass over the middle. That one is going to be caught. It's by Mayo, who cuts across the field down inside the 30. And that's where he's taken down at about the 20, looks like 27, 28 yard line. But a huge conversion on 2nd down here for the Raiders with the end of the quarter upon us.
A huge play. The Sun need to make a few of these plays before the end of the game, or this game's going to be over without them on the winning side of it.
Take a quick break, come back to the Apple Bowl. Your score, the Raiders 14 and the Okanagan Sun 1.
to put money on Miami over Atlanta, and I don't think I did, but Miami won. Smoking Jay Cuddy. Smoking Jay Cuddy.
Looking for an outstretched receiver in Helen.
They are giving him the completion. I don't know about that.
Whoa.
I think he was picking that up off the dirt, but
It certainly looked like a bit of a short hop from here, but big completion means the Raiders now just 2 yards away from a first down. Ball on the Okanagan 20. Defense to be relied on for another big stop here. Handoff up the middle to Williams. He gets nearly the 15-yard line. Good enough for a first down there.
ooh, Sun really need to find a way to get a turnover, and they need to find a way to get points on the board here. Next ball in the air needs to be theirs.
Yeah, Rhett Williams, who was in on the fumble for the Raiders last time with that missed handoff of his quarterback, wrapping it up there. And once again, it'll be the Raiders out of the eye. Fake handoff there, looking to the corner of the end zone here. LeBurge now he's going to tuck it and run with it down to the 10-yard line. Crosses out of bounds at the 7. And that looks to be about a yard shy of a first down here. We'll see where the spot is, but expect to be second and short here, deep in the red zone of the Sun. So they're going to, okay, they're going to say he crossed out the 6, so yeah, that's going to be too close to call. They'll bring out a measurement here. Pretty crucial time right now here in this football game. You'd think at this point that a Raiders touchdown to put them up by 3 scores would feel a little insurmountable for the Sun, given just how the offense has been today for them.
Yeah, they got the first down here inside the 10-yard line. So even if just the field goal turns it into a 3-score game again, and 3 scores is a long way to come back from when your offense is not clicking, and the Sun offense hasn't been clicking the way they need it to. Even they're even getting completed plays on second and medium that wind up being short of a first, and you just can't do that because you drive guys. So here on in, it's likely 3-down territory for the Sun.
Sure is, as the ball is spotted, like you say, on the 6, ensuring them a first and goal situation here. 13.5 minutes left to play in a fourth quarter. 14-1, the lead for the Raiders, who are trying to tack on more. LeBurge, as he started to roll right with it, but an official over on the sideline signaling a false start, I believe. Here's the word from the referee today. So there it is. Penalty is on the offense here. 69, Cody Upton, who's that left tackle there. So back here on the 11-yard line, first and goal. LeBurge is running right, but he's got Cody Thompson coming in behind him, and a big tackle there made with Beck Fullerton to sack the quarterback out near the 20-yard line. Big loss on the play.
Huge play there. The Raiders are honestly lucky Beck Fullerton came in so hot, because I don't think he was tucking away from Thompson. He was tucking away from Fullerton and just got lucky, because had he stayed up another step or two, Thompson might have been able to get the strip sack on him, hunting him down from behind.
Yeah, it's a good point there, as he looked, like you say, to be more aware of Fullerton's presence than Thompson's on that play. And so the Raiders push back even further, going to be spotted at the 17-yard line here on a second and goal for them. LeBurge to pass. This one quickly into the corner. Barrios going up for it, and he just tips it. Aldrich Barrios nearly comes in with an INT there. It just goes off his hands, but he's able in the process to tip it away from Bryson Mayo, who is the receiver, looking for another big touchdown catch from him.
Yeah, that's they're just looking for that jump ball with Barrios versus Mayo, and Mayo's won one, and Barrios won that one, although it didn't come down with a clean.
And
see if kicker can connect on this field goal finally.
So James Parker, who's missed from 42 and from 30 yards so far today, now has a 25-yard field goal ahead of him. Once again, good distance on this one, but it's wide left this time and sails out the back of the end zone. So it'll be a single point there for the Raiders, but boy, the kicking game just not working out for them today as this kick is shifted wide left.
Yeah, shocking really, especially with how much power, and like it's not like he's shanking and missing by a lot. He just keeps pushing it to the wrong side of the post.
So each team with a missed field goal that's gone for a single point here today. Outside of that, 2 touchdowns from the Raiders, and that's what has given them a 15-1 lead here, sending the Sun back on offense here. 12-10 left to go in this ball game. And after that play, boy, it is huge for the Sun to be only down by 2 scores right now.
Very, absolutely crucial that they're down by only 2 scores right now. And the Sun offense, they need to at least turn this into a steady drive, get 2 or 3 first downs if they don't manage to put points on the board here, and they need to do it sooner than later.
Zyla continues to work out of the gun here. Back to pass to Simon Eyes, screen pass complete up near the 40. Looked like Rashawn stumbled a little bit as he caught that ball. And so he'll get brought down at about the 41-yard line, gain of 6 on the play.
Yeah, this play looks like it's designed to kind of read the blocks and cut inside, and tries to cut inside, but meets a VI player there, number 28. That's, oh, there's no 28 on my chart. Let's shoot here. Anyway, yeah, great play there by the defensive back. What was that, 29 Chang?
Probably 29 Chang, yeah.
Okay.
In on that one, it was being blocked by Falconer. 2nd down and 4 to go here. Fake handoff from Zyla. Goes up the middle. That pass is complete to Jesse Falconer. He's got 3 guys all over him, taking it up to the Raider 50. But Jesse Falconer, with his first completion of the game, comes at a huge time here on the play action from Keith Zyla.
Yeah, great hands, great body catch there. A little behind almost again. Zyla's really got to find a way to get those passes out in front of his receivers, because, yeah, that hit Falconer well on the body, but if that's another half-yard behind, there's contention for another pick there.
Sun moving the ball into Raider territory, needing a score at this point in the ball game. Another play action from Zyla. That one is complete over on the far side, up across the 45. That is Spencer Schmidt, I believe, on that completion, as was announced here in the Apple Bowl, and so that'll bring up a 2nd and short.
Sun need to get a first down here. Expect a run, but they have been doing passes quite a bit on these 2nd and shorts. They like the quick hooks and the swings.
Good fake there on the run as Brendan Hansen sold that handoff well. 2nd down and 2 yards left to go here for the Sun on the 42. Zyla brings in the snap, gets it to Hansen. There's a handoff up across the 35. Big run for Brendan Hansen.
This is what the Sun offense has needed to do all day and has really struggled to put connecting first downs together. So great to see them moving the sticks down the field and now really getting close to red zone territory.
Ball on the 32, a 10-yard run from Brendan Hansen. Big one there. Setting up the Sun, like you say, as they approach the red zone here. Fake handoff from Zyla. He cuts up to the right side, keeps the ball, takes a hit too as he rumbles across the 30-yard line. But another good gain of about 5 yards that the Sun are doing well here, just picking up 5-6 yards per down, and that's allowing them to move the chains down the field.
Yeah, that's quite the risky play there from your quarterback,
Sure
especially
is.
with the history of injuries the Sun quarterbacks have had this season. Don't like to see him do a whole bunch of that, but he did get 5 yards out of it, makes it 2nd and manageable.
2nd and 5 down on the 27. Once again, Hansen right beside Keith Zyla. Got a man in motion, a reverse handoff here over on the far side, but getting brought down is Robbie Rodriguez.
That was a huge tackle there by Brody Taylor. He kind of shoestring holding on to getting Robbie's shoe there.
3rd down and 5 here for the Sun, who look like they're going for it. We talked about it really being 3rd down territory. Down by 14, a field goal really doesn't help them very much here.
Especially with the misses that we've seen today, and Mayo with the return capabilities he has.
Hansen looks like he's going to get a handoff here from Zyla, and does. Guts up towards the 20-yard line. That should be good enough for a 1st down. 7 yards or 6 yards the gain for Hansen here.
Great reach on that. That's a risky call on 3rd and 5 or 6. Just a clean run played off tackle. But Hansen with the reach on that hit and spin.
Looks like the ball being spotted just outside that 20-yard line, but essentially a gain of 7 there for Hansen. What a 3rd down conversion for the Sun to keep this drive alive. Clock to 7.5 minutes left in a 4th quarter here. Keith Zyla out of the shotgun, hands off to Robbie Rodriguez, who stumbled making his first cut. Looks like he gained close to 5 yards anyway on the play down to the 15-yard line.
This drive's going well, but it's chewing up a lot of time, and the Sun really need to get away from this with points.
Sure do here as a 2nd and 5 situation once again upcoming for the Sun. Ball on the 15-yard line now. Zyla looking to pass, pump fakes once, now goes to the corner. The end zone flag is thrown. Looked like some contact between a receiver and the secondary. And we'll see where the flag ends up falling here on this play.
Hand battle between Tristan Muir and Simon Eyes out on the far end, and I think they're calling one of them. I'm not sure who it was that was getting too aggressive with their hands. Oh, that's a big play.
Whoa.
Big penalty right there.
Like you say, it was Tristan Muir on Simon Eyes there. Muir is called on a PI, and so a 15-yard penalty. Well, the ball pretty much was started on the 15.
Yeah,
that's
so
where the
we're
line
down
of
to the
scrimmage
1.
was. So we're down right to the 1-yard line.
And the Sun have their heavy package out with Richard in the tailback spot.
Richard in the tailback spot. It looks like lineman is lining up as the fullback there. Now the handoff comes to Richard. He spins and reaches with one hand out across the goal line. Touchdown for the Sun. Connor Richard takes it in to give the Sun a chance in this game.
That's huge. Looked like the defense even got the initial stop right away, but Richard got the reach over, which is something that you really have to be wary of, because the linebacker could easily reach over that pile and knock the ball out of your hands before you actually break the plane, or before, at this level, an official sees you break it. There's no replays or anything. This is all down to what's seen or not.
Yeah, it's a good point and good awareness there by Richard to do that in an instance where you're right. He didn't have that ball swatted right out of his hand. So with Isaac Wagner in to kick the extra point, bit of a low snap, but the kick is up and it's good. The Sun now down by just one score, 15-8. Take a quick break, come back to the Apple Bowl.
Getting exciting. This is the kind of win that they really, really need, though. Like, rise from adversity kind of win. Be the underdog for a minute.
Here to the Apple Bowl, Evan Cook, Carson Park here as Connor Richard breathes some life into the Sun. A 1-yard touchdown run with 6.5 minutes left to play in the 4th quarter. Takes the Sun to within a touchdown right now as they trail 15-8. Isaac Wagner to kick this one away from the 45-yard line. That one angled up towards the sideline. Going to be caught there and returned from about the 25-yard line. Out to cross the 30 just before now, just across the 35 is where the big pile of players tumbles. Xander Bailey on the return that time.
I'm really surprised they didn't try to go for their little onside thing right there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's typically far enough of a kick that it doesn't totally ruin your field position. I'm not sure the VI would have gotten much better field position had they tried it. And the way they were running it earlier this season, that was giving them a great opportunity at getting the ball. And we are running low on time to be down by a score.
Sun defense, both defenses have had great days here this afternoon. Sun D being asked for another stop here with the offense. LeBurge with the handoff to Williams. Bit of a miscommunication between those two. And Cody Thompson wraps up the running back before the line of scrimmage for a loss.
Great play there and great awareness by Thompson to let go of that tackle and not go and try to suplex the running back or anything silly that might get him a penalty.
Absolutely.
Play was over. He made his play and let go of his wrap.
Yeah, you're right. A good veteran play there by Thompson. Fourth-year linebacker for this team out of Okotoks, Alberta, with a big day here for the Sun. 2nd and 12 here. LeBurge going to pass this one. Going to connect with his receiver up by the 40-yard line to the 45 is North Rainey. That's still 2 yards short of a first down. And I'm imagining that the Raiders are going to play it safe here and punt this one away.
Yeah, punt team coming out. Although, if there's going to be a fake, now is the time to keep your eyes open for it, because a fake here and getting another 10 yards down the field, that's going to kill a lot of clock and be a huge field position win.
Well, and we even saw kind of the fake out of necessity on that play earlier, where Hunchak just didn't have time to kick it, and he took off and ran with it.
Yeah, so if there's going to be a block on, they have to break down well for this.
High snap, and Hunchak can't kick it again. The Sun have forced him to run with it. Now he's going to throw this one downfield, completes the pass up to the Sun 40, the 35, and out across the 30-yard line. What a play there to connect with Brandon McDougall, the running back.
Definitely think that was drawn up like that. Don't think that was anything about the bad snap, although it was a high snap. He's lucky he came down with that. But disappointing for the Sun special teams to not pick up on that sort of thing and keep an eye out for it, because he was wide open on that play.
Yeah, it's a good call there, and I mean, you talked about it being a great opportunity there for a fake. And McDougall, like you say, just wide open. The Sun unable to pick him up, and he rumbles all the way down to the 32-yard line.
I'm not sure what the officials are conferencing about, but it also looks like Coach Ben would definitely like a word as well, because
yeah, McCauley is in conversation with the referee, who just shrugs him off at that point. Not sure what the conversation was about, whether it's about field position. Under 5 minutes to go now. Going to be a 1st and 10 here in the 32. Handoff here. Looks like a hold is coming as the ball came out at the end of the play.
Oh, and the Sun D is very frustrated by that call.
Hayward Beasley had the ball in his hand, and he was getting ready to rumble upfield. There was another handoff to Williams. There had already been a flag throw, and looked like a hold was going to bring it back.
Sun D have been waiting for that play all day, and then it's blown dead. That's frustrating. They gotta find a way to make another one.
Tough to tell on the replay exactly when the ball hit the ground. Waters picks up the holding penalty here, so that'll move. There you go, and that's the explanation there. Boy, that's frustrating for the Sun.
Especially, that's something we've talked about earlier in the season, not so much lately, but helmets coming off has been a crazy commonly thing. Saw it pop off earlier just on one of the receivers.
1st and 10 here. 1st and 20 rather, on the 42-yard line. Sun rushing forward to the line. LeBurge under pressure. He's got to get away from a tackler. Beasley just misses him, diving for that tackle. Getting forced to the sideline is LeBurge, and he's out right around the line of scrimmage. Eli Haynes and Tyler going in on that final tackle. And though it looks like it'll be end up netting nothing. Hayward Beasley comes that close to grabbing the leg out from the quarterback.
Oh, he had him. He just can't be lunging there on that last step. He needed 2 more steps and he had the tackle, but just getting a little too excited, especially after that last play where his forced fumble recovery is called back. That's real frustrating, back-to-back plays, but look for him to stay hungry.
Ball taken back to the line, so it's 2nd and 20 from the 42-yard line. Back to pass is LaBerge. He goes up the middle, and that one is going to fall incomplete. Looked like Fullerton and Richard from that halfback position coming in to disrupt North Rainey. And so the Sun, to get the ball back with 4 minutes left, it's going to be a punt here from their half of the field. And so it's going to be probably tight field position coming up for the Sun, but they are getting the ball back on offense.
Yeah, you really hope to see them put together a drive like their last drive.
Nate Anderson back to return this punt. It's going to take him into his own end zone. He's going to let it bounce in the end zone. Now pick it up and get the no yards penalty there as he's brought down just outside the goal line by the looks of it.
Boy, do I not like that decision by Anderson to let that ball bounce. Because you don't know which direction it's going to go.
Yep.
I don't know if he has an eye on what the kicker's up to, if the kicker's bombing down the field to get everybody onside, but letting that ball touch the ground is a very risky play, especially down by your own goal line. Down by 7. If you allow the single point, you now need a 2-point conversion as well. Like that's right in the shadow of their goal line.
Yeah, tough calculation there. And we'll see if it ends up playing out for the Sun here. Clock down to 3:44 remaining in the 4th quarter. Now it looks like a conversation amongst the officials in there as well, talking about it on the Sun end is Marshall Klein, the offensive lineman. Haven't made a decision on the spot of the ball at this point, which is...
They're saying it got into the end zone and they got it out of the end zone, so they're bringing it out for the 20.
Yep, that's going to be the spot.
Number 44. That penalty is declined. The ball was caught in and it came out, so the ball will be placed at the 20-yard line, first down.
And that's what it is, so the no yards penalty gets negated on that play. But gamble there with letting the ball drop that ends up working out for the Sun here with the ball on the 20-yard line. The Sun's first drive of the afternoon started on the 20. They start another one here under 4 minutes to play, down by a score. There's a play action and a pitch backwards by Zyla. Ball loose on the field. It's going to be recovered and brought into the end zone, but I think the whistle had gone. A flag was thrown.
Yeah, I think it's for tackling Hansen when he was going for the recovery.
Yeah, so Nathan Myers, who came in as it was a play action, then a pitch to the outside there.
Not a great pitch there by Zyla either. Way too shallow, not nearly steep enough for his...
Number 23, BI Raiders. It'll be first down from spot of foul.
And so that's what it is.
First down from the spot of the foul. That's an interesting one.
And so because it was that backwards pitch, the Sun will lose field position even with the penalty going against the Raiders there. Going to take the ball down inside the 15-yard line now. But start with a fresh set of downs at 1st and 10 now with the ball on the 14. Clock down under 3.5 minutes left. Sun trying to lead another charge up the field. Zyla with the handoff here now. That's to Hansen. Cuts up near the 20, still on his feet. And he will get eventually brought down just across, I believe, the 20-yard line there. We'll see where the spot is, maybe right at the 20, but a nice run there by Brendan Hansen.
A great, powerful run there from Hansen. And the Sun are going to wind up being here in a minute. Pretty much the same position that the Raiders were the first time they came over to the Okanagan earlier in the season.
Yeah, it's a great point, as it was a 3rd down conversion for the Raiders, plus a 2-point convert to come away with a tie in that game. Sun needing a score here with under 3 minutes to play. Zyla with the keep, busts up across the 25-yard line. Takes a lot of contact on those hits, but Zyla rushes it far enough for a Sun first down.
Yeah, he's a good couple yards over the first down marker. At that point, I'd like to just see him take the slide. Oh, actually, no, he had to take that actually. Smart move.
So ball here on the 27-yard line. Officials going to conference once again here, actually. Clock stopped with 2:37 left to play here. You think back to the last Sun drive where they got down the field and they had those short plays consecutively to get them down there. Not sure they have enough time to really do that right now.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Like, it's an option for them still, but they're going to have to turn that into a hurry-up offense and really not have any incompletes. There's no room for failure at this point in the game.
So the 3-minute warning is blowing through, and it's going to be back to offense for the Sun here. Clock ticking down now from 2.5. Zyla out of the shotgun here, looks downfield, pump fake, now a pass. It's in behind the receiver. That was Jesse Falconer, who had to look behind him and watch the ball sail away. Going to bring up 2nd down and 10 here.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that play, throwing to the middle of the field for only like 7 or 8 yards. Time to attack the perimeter here or the seams. Want to get your receiver to catch it at least in motion so he can make a fight for that sideline.
Simonai is one of the receivers in motion over the far sideline. Zyla's going to look that direction, go towards that sideline for Simonai. He goes up with it.
They're calling it a catch.
And they're saying he caught it right at midfield.
Well, they should have been doing this way more during this game. Just throw it up to that guy because he has the height advantage on all of these defensive backs. And he makes plays, high points that ball really well.
And it's why I pointed him out pre-snap there, is because we've seen it a few times. Yeah, what a great catch there, going up against Tristan Muir to make that play. So the Sun up to midfield, clock ticking down, 2:10 remaining, with Okanagan pressing for the tying score here. Zyla going to pass this one out of the gun once again to that same sideline. Diving catch, not made. Anderson was attempting that one, but a flag is thrown. Looked like about 5 yards back of that catch attempt from Anderson.
Sun are honestly lucky that Simonai did not get called on the offside on that, because I think he was a half step early. Something to really be wary of when you're doing the slot approach.
Yep. Raiders hoping the more penalties don't sink them here on defense.
Illegal contact on the receiver, number 27.
That's a big 10-yard penalty called on Travis Novak. And so after that incomplete, that should take the ball down to the 45-yard line. And a fresh set of downs for the Sun here. 2 minutes exactly left to go in this football game.
Yeah, the Raiders D is, you can't be shooting yourself in the foot like that at this point in the game.
Zyla now. There's that option play. A handoff is not going anywhere. Likely a loss potentially of a yard or two for Brendan Hansen.
Yeah, Hansen had nowhere to go there. And that was disappointing. I like that call, and I like the way it started to form it up, and just picked the wrong gap to try to go through.
That knocked 5 seconds off the clock here. So clock now counting down, hits a minute 50 to go. 2nd down and 11. Ball on the 46-yard line. For the Sun, looking to move the chains again here on 2nd and long. 4 receivers on the left side. Zyla rolls out that way. Now looks downfield and throws an interception. That one picked off by Jeremy Chang. He gets wrapped up at about the 40. Apologies, that's Travis Novak, who after taking the penalty earlier in the drive, comes up with a huge INT and will likely seal this one.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many timeouts everybody has left, but the Sun D, like I said, it's on them to put points on this board to get the Sun back in this game, and this game's about to be over with only a minute left.
Tough ball there, as I mentioned, 4 Sun receivers stacking that left side. There were certainly guys in the vicinity. Ball just a little bit underthrown and going up for it. Travis Novak using all 6 feet of his stature to pluck that ball out of the air from Keith Zyla. Minute 29 left to go here. Back under center is Jake LaBerge. He will pass this one toward an open sideline. It was well behind Bryson Mayo.
Very questionable play call there.
Yeah.
The clock stopped on him.
Yeah, that'll stop the clock here, like you say, with the minute 27 to go.
We now have a 2nd and 10, so it's a throwing down. Likely we'll see if it's going to be incomplete again, and this could be a 2 and out with only like 8 or 9 seconds lost.
Yeah, you wonder here if they will run the ball with the clock in mind here on 2nd down, but you're right. You're asking a lot from your back, Rhett Williams, who's had some good runs today, but the Sun D have shut them down pretty well. Now here LaBerge is scrambling. He gets out of the pocket, has a face full from Cody Thompson. Now gets brought down at the 40-yard line.
That ball came out for a second. I think he wrapped it back up. But that ball popped out on the way down. That was quite the moment.
Wow.
And LaBerge, it looks like he is not feeling right after that.
Cody Thompson was all up in his grill, like I say. And so that run will take it up to about the 40-yard line.
Thompson just raking at the arms, trying to pull that ball out, and he gets it and lands on the ball. Oh, he didn't know it was there.
Oof.
Oh, man.
So the Sun call a timeout here with a minute 18 left to go here. Going to be a 3rd down punt for Nick Hunchak. Rashawn Simonize is lined up at his own 35-yard line to take this.
I imagine the Sun are down to maybe 1 timeout left, so. And it looked.
Yeah, that timeout to stopping the clock at a minute 18, and boy, in this Canadian 3-down game after, like you mentioned, the incomplete pass on 1st down here, and now the Sun using a timeout after that play. Sun could get the ball back with over 60 seconds left here. Certainly enough time for them to take this back.
Yeah, enough time to at least make it exciting. I think expect the Sun to bring some heavy pressure here too. They've blocked a lot of kicks at the start of the year. Now is the time they have to do them.
Yeah, no kidding. Hunchak is lined up back at about his own 27-yard line.
Mind, please don't get a breath.
Yeah, that too. High snap. He still collects it. It is squibbed off of his foot, rolling out to about the Okanagan 40. That's where Simonize is going to pick it up and curl back toward his own end. Now tries to get outside wide. He hits his own 40. Simonize still going towards the sideline. Gets a block. Comes up midfield. He's at the 30-yard line. Another block. A flag is down. Simonize will rumble into the end zone, but I think we're getting this one called back on a block in the back.
I think it's actually a running into the kicker penalty, although I think he blocked the kick, so I don't know if that should actually be a penalty. We're going to see what the ref saw, or hear what the ref saw.
You're right. Wow.
Because I'm very sure he blocked that, and if you touch that ball, you're allowed to run into that kicker.
I am sure they got a hand on that, yeah. Boy,
I'm not even sure how you argue that, because there is no replay, so you can't go back on that. But I can't see how that did anything but hit the blocker's hand.
Well, it had to have hit something, right? Because of the way it came off the foot. Try and get another look at this on the replay here. It was
just missed it.
Tough to see, but
awesome return by Simonize, and the Sun D can find. I don't know what the timeout situation's like, but the Sun D needs to get a stop here right now.
54 seconds left here in the 4th quarter.
Coach Ben arguing his case.
That's a gutsy call there on a running into the kicker. And so for the Raiders, they retain possession of the ball, 1st and 10, now on their own 49-yard line.
Stick on the far side, the same cleat. Okay, there you go.
Going to be a run play here. Hand off to Williams. He gets across the 50, maybe up to the 51-yard line. Looks like max a gain of 2 on that run. 2nd and 9 coming up here. Auberge is just going to jog to the sideline here as the Sun use up a timeout. 51 seconds. Boy, still a little bit, as we're getting another look at that. Punt there.
I just caught that as the tail end of it, so I didn't even get to see if we had a good view on if it was blocked or just shanked and hit or what the deal was. But definitely going to be checking that out later. Oh, here we go again. Yeah, like if he's running into the kicker, he's hitting his leg before his leg's hitting the ball. So I don't know what's going on there. Disappointing call. Disappointing, very important call too.
Big time. As he had no other flags on the field, that return for Simonize would have gone for a score. Nonetheless, here's 2nd down and long here. Good run by Williams, gets up across midfield, will still be short of a 1st down. Going to be about 3rd and 2 here. Nice little run there for Rhett Williams. And that will set up a punt here with 46 seconds remaining.
So can we do it again? That's going to be the question.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh. We have Shaw TV keeps showing us that last block, which helpful. Oh, what are we going on here? Oh, they're going for it here.
Okay, there we go. Raiders, yeah, in the eye, going for it on 3rd down here, or at least gonna, call a timeout and get that clock down to 28 seconds. Now the punt team is jogging out on the field here. Looked like, okay, they re-added a second. Now we're up to 28 seconds left to go here. For the Sun to, yeah, it sure is. For the Sun to field this punt and, let's say, get a return of about 15 yards or so, that might take them up to about the 35, 40-yard line. In which case they might have time for 2, maybe 3
definitely
shots.
Definitely expect a kick out of bounds here, actually.
Yep, that's a good point. Hunchak angles towards that sideline, going to come inbounds, take a bounce right to the 20-yard line, bounces in front of Simonize, who's going to pick it up at his own 15. Simonize can't cut past the lead block, and it's down at the 20 with the clock down to 17.
He needed to find a way to go around the outside like he did last time, and this contain held him in and forced him to cut up field and nowhere to go. Really disappointing there. I was hoping to see at least an attempt at the same thing, but cover unit, contain team really stepped up.
Another tough play there where he lets it bounce and it takes a funny hop away from him. Tough to come in with as much momentum as he would have running in to catch that ball in the air, but it ends up not working out with it bouncing right in front of him. So 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. Zyla out of the shotgun now, expecting him to look deep down the field. This one is angled towards the sideline and just a little bit too far in front of Rashawn Simonize,
who is pulling up a little lame and get a little hop, skip, and a jump there at the end, which isn't a good sign.
Clock down to 12 seconds here. You'd imagine about time for 2 more of those types of plays.
Pretty much, that's likely all we're going to have a chance at, and Simonize taking his time getting back to the huddle.
Yeah, no kidding. He, like you say, was pulling up, limping a bit after that run.
I expect that's the guy they're going to be looking to connect with again. So, and he had that long return. He's probably pretty gassed at the moment to be the guy that we're going to lean on. But
4 receivers stacked out on that right side. Zyla with an empty backfield. Out of the gun here. Steps out of the pocket. He's got 1 man on him. Beats him. Throws toward the sideline. It's up and caught by Jesse Falconer.
Everybody needs to run to the line of scrimmage right now because clock is running
3.
at 3 seconds. we're only going to get one more play here.
Falconer with the catch inside the 50-yard line. It'll be spotted right now at the 47. And like you say, one more play. Really in the works for the Sun right now. Play blowing in here. They're stacking the receiver on the right side again. 4 of them there, the final play of the football game. This one up the middle of the field. That's conceded pass to Mastodimos. He's going to go down, throw the lateral back. It's only to a lineman there. The Raiders jump on the ball, and that is the ball game.
Super disappointing, especially a few of the opportunities missed by the Sun there. Plenty of opportunities missed by the Sun there, left on the field. Really cost them the game.
It sure did, as the offense for the Sun in this one comes alive in the 4th quarter. But you know, it just proves to be a little bit too little too late for that offense, where if we'd seen some of what we saw late in the game, earlier in the game, they probably wouldn't have put themselves in a position down a touchdown here on the final drive.
Yeah, definitely. It's too bad to see us, especially seeing that roughing the kicker with a minute and a half left. That a little bit of deja vu personally, but super frustrating to see that sort of a penalty have that big of an impact on a game.
Yeah, no kidding. And the impact it had, it can't really be argued, as yeah, Simon Ice took it in for the touchdown, but was unable to have that count as the play called back on the running into the kicker penalty, like you say. So the final score here from the Apple Bowl is the VI Raiders 15, the Okanagan Sun 8.
Here we are at the 19th annual United Way drive-through breakfast fundraiser, where you can not only drive through but walk and ride. And we're going to get behind the scenes and meet some of the people that make this happen. So I can see there's a little bit of a technique going on. Like, what is the science behind your...
What's the science behind it? Have some fun and just keep people rolling through.
Well, we're here to support the United Way. We're here to support Maxine's drive-through breakfast. We're here to support the community. We're the Okanagan Army Regiment. My soldiers live here. We live in the community. We work in the community. So it's important that, as well as being part of the army here, we're part of that wider community. So we like to take part in all the kind of events and things that are going on.
It's cold. It's getting colder this morning than it was at 5:30.
Even with all this cold, you're still standing here. You're still guiding people through. What keeps you going?
You know what? It's a great fundraiser, and it's just a lot of fun to be involved with Maxine and help out and raise money for the United Way. So that's why we're here.
Hi! Oh, look who's doing that! Thank you guys. Have a great day. And here we are with Helen Jackman, the Executive Director of the United Way. Helen, I'm guessing you don't typically dress like a rock star every day, or maybe